A new episode of Real Ranked is going live right now. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Real Ranked. Today we will be talking about our top 10 favorite 2021 movies. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring in everyone, starting with Sophie.
Hello.
We got Sam.
Hello.
Hi, Sam.
Hi. I love you, Sophie.
I love you too.
We have John.
Hey guys, what's going on?
Hi, John.
And
Hi.
we have Colin.
Hey everyone.
I don't know if that was a reference to when Spiderman says, "Hey, everyone," in Civil War.
No, definitely
You said it
not.
exactly the
Definitely
same.
not.
Definitely didn't plan that.
But our code word for today is gonna be pizza time. I don't know if we're allowed to bring up the clip. I will not do that in case we get copyright strike. So
I'm sure
Come
copywriters
on.
will find a way, so I'm not sure it matters, but you know.
If they haven't already gotten mad at us, I don't.
Yeah, there's a
think
lot
this
of things
one-
on there. Exactly. What is it? It's less than 5 seconds, right?
I mean,
Yeah.
Rachel's team name is full on just like an actual thing from something. So.
that's true. But it's been a great year of movies. 2021, pretty solid year. What do you guys have to say about 2021?
Definitely an improvement from 2020.
Sure.
But I mean, 2020 was limited. A lot of the stuff that was supposed to come out that year got pushed to this year, or last year.
Mhm.
Great year though. Lots of movies I wish I could include in my top 10, but had to be cut off.
Yeah, I watched 72 movies so far. There's still a ton that I'm missing, but feel pretty good about my top 10 list. It was sad to cut some of these, but yeah. Anyone have anything else to say before we start with our
There were some very close calls. I think my bottom 3 could have gone a lot of different ways. I have Shiva Baby on my screen. That was extremely close to making it. If you haven't seen that one, I would recommend it. And I'm sure Sophie will talk about it, or maybe she will.
Yeah, someone might have it on their list.
It's been on my watch list, but I have not seen it. It's pretty short, which is always good.
Yeah, it's a short
And
watch.
Sophie likes it, which is
love
also always good. And I mean,
It's so good. It was my favorite of the year for a while before some other movies came out. I'm not going to say anything. So,
John?
I actually think that last year, 2020, despite everything in the world going just totally wrong, I don't think last year was like a terrible year for film in general, but I think this year is one of the strongest years for movies in recent memory. I would even maybe say that it might be a better year for film than 2019, but I'm not 100% sure about that.
I like that take.
it's close.
I like that take. It's a good
They're definitely close for sure.
There are a lot of things that I haven't seen yet, unfortunately, that I think would probably make this list had I seen it, but we'll see. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's
All right.
presumptuous to say that,
Wow.
but
I guess we'll try not to get into spoilers for these movies if one of you guys haven't seen it. So,
Oh boy.
Well,
If we're talking about
unless you guys don't
things,
care.
spoilers.
But-
But continue.
Yeah.
But
It depends how
I will
important the
just go ahead.
spoilers are.
I'll go ahead and start with my number 10 then, which is Titan. Feels bad putting it low, but
Same spot. I don't know what the code word for that is.
pizza time.
Pizza time. Okay.
Well,
All
but
right.
if it's
Wasn't
the
sure.
same,
Pizza
then-
time.
if it's the same spot, just say it's the same spot. But if
Okay,
you
yeah,
have-
it's the same spot. Yeah.
for John, it's pizza time.
Yeah, it's pizza time.
All right.
It's going to be Chipotle time for me in about 20 minutes, so.
Oh, nice.
Is it my turn?
Yeah.
All right. My number 10 is In the Heights. I don't know if that's pizza. Am I the only one that has this on their list? So I was debating. I'll talk about it. I was debating.
Okay.
Has everyone seen it?
Yes.
I don't care.
You don't care. I mean, there's not really spoilers. It's a musical. I don't know what I'm going to say. This was my favorite musical of the year, but Tick, Tick, Boom came very close to overthrowing it because I've been listening to that a lot. That was my number 11, and it's barely made it up there. But In the Heights resonated with me more. It's just everything about this film I loved. It made me cry. It made me happy. It made me just very joyful. The music is really great. It's Lin-Manuel Miranda. I don't know. He can't really do no wrong in my eyes. A lot of people hate him for some reason, and I don't know why. Yeah, he put himself in this movie, but I don't care. Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna keep it short and sweet. Love this musical. It's my favorite of the year, musical-wise. Really like some of the songs that I love were Paciencia y Fe, which is sung by the grandma, and Breathe by the character Nina. Yeah, those are my favorite songs. It's the ones I listen to all the time. Well, really quick, I actually refrained from listening to Paciencia y Fe because it would always make me cry. So 6 months later, I was like, I'm going to listen to the song. Maybe it won't make me cry. I'm listening it to at work and I start bawling and I'm like, I can't do this. I have to go to the bathroom to finish crying because it made me. It's so emotional. It's so emotional, and it's very resonant with what my family had to go through, and it's just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Love it. That's my number 10.
Sam, what are your thoughts on In the Heights?
I mean, I didn't know anything about it until I watched it, but it was good. A lot of the songs are really good. I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember a lot about it because my memory lasts like a week if I'm lucky, but I remember liking the movie.
Proud of you, Sam.
Thank you.
All right, John.
Yeah, I'm a little bit more lukewarm on In the Heights, I think, than maybe the rest of this panel. I will say that this came out like in the middle of when I was like quarantining, and so just like the infectious energy of the music and the dance scenes, that were choreographed and shot. Like, I mean, they weren't choreographed by John Chu, but like John Chu is the guy that made like Step Up, right? The Step Up movies, right? And so like he brings that same energy to like the dance scenes. Like that dude can shoot a dance scene like nobody else really. And like Sophie, I'm sorry, I'm one of those guys that's like not a huge fan of Lin-Manuel Miranda. I don't have like a hatred for him. He just comes
That's
off
okay.
a little bit corny, yeah. But that being said, I actually do really like the original musical of In the Heights, like the stage musical. I've listened to it a lot, and I've also seen like like a slime tutorial. Let's use that term before. And I think it's great. The thing about this movie a little bit is that some of the book changes that they made, I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but I think some of the book changes that are made actually kind of undermines the sort of the message about what it means to be like a minority in America. Obviously, I can't speak to like the authenticity. I'm not Hispanic. I'm not Latinx. I'm not.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about. I know the change that they made, and I feel like it would have helped the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But it's fine.
I'll elaborate. Like the song placement and stuff like that didn't really bother me, and I actually think I really love the actors that were in this. Like, I say I really love the actors, and then I immediately blank on all of their names. Anthony Ramos, Corey Hawkins. I think they all pick up these parts really wonderfully. The one thing that bothers. Okay, I'll fixate on like sort of one minor point. Nina comes home from Stanford, right? Yeah. And the reasons for why she comes home, the reasons that she articulates in the movie are different from the reasons that she articulates in the musical. I won't go too deep into why, but I think the way that the movie portrays it is still affecting, but I think it's a little bit blunt in the way that like racism plays into it. Whereas in the stage musical, right, Nina's character like has to like in order to be able to afford college, she has to work like a lot overtime on top of like all of this really difficult coursework, and the fact that she has to do that, I think is really more of an indictment of how things in the U.S. are unfair. How like the cards are kind of stacked against like the Latin X community, the Latino community. Not that like the reason why she leaves Stanford is like because of a racist encounter she has at school, and it's like a principled stand against that, which is good. But I think it's like a more blunt way of putting it. Whereas I think the underlying reasons for why she leaves in the original musical are a little bit more like nefarious and like illustrate problems with like American society and the education system a lot better. But that being said, this was. I can't even remember what it gave it on Letterboxd. Okay, a low score, but I think that's probably underrating it a little bit because it was really a breath of fresh air, and I won't say no to, In the Heights. It's a great musical. That was rambling.
No, yeah, you made some good points. I appreciate it, John.
That's all I got.
All right.
I guess it's you now, Matthew, because Colin hasn't seen it.
No, I haven't seen it, so I have no thoughts. Sorry.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, this barely made the cut for my top 10, but this is great, very, very energetic. And I had listened to the soundtrack like long before after I first watched Hamilton on stage. I had gone back to Lin-Manuel Miranda's other works, and so I was a fan of the music already, but I didn't really know much about the story. So I think it's just filled with a ton of energy. John Chu's direction is great. All of the performances are really good as well, and I'm not going to go too deep into it. So, all right.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Where I after Hamilton just listened to the first song in the Heights, and that's so I just listed that out over and over again, and I never listened to the rest of the song, so I had no idea. Well, more or less, I didn't really know the story, so I went in blind in the movie, and I fell in love. I was like, I love this. I'm sure the stage musical's better, as they always are, but well, almost always, but whatever. We'll go to Sam now. If you want.
Oh yeah, my number 10. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get Pizza Times for this because it's Spider-Man No Way Home.
Pizza time.
Pizza time.
Yeah, I knew it.
It's too low, Sam. How dare you?
The 2021 movies, there's some good ones.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
Except for people are gonna judge.
No, I'm glad you even included it in your top 10. So very good.
Fair. Yeah.
All right, John.
Right. My number 10 pick is the James Wan film Malignant.
Ooh, I really wanted to watch this, but I didn't get to.
Yeah, I didn't get time.
I also did not.
Okay.
I haven't seen it, but I've got comments.
All right, cool. Sorry.
Go for it, John.
This one would be short and sweet. This one on my list is kind of like the me pick. I had a lot of trouble like picking a 10th movie to put in, and this one I just like I had too much fun with it just to not include it on my list. It's as somebody that doesn't watch a ton of horror, my only real exposure to it has been like elevated horror. The stuff that you would like A24 might put out, or like, and that's all fine and good. But I like to have a little bit of fun sometimes. I like things when they get a little bit zany. And this movie does that. It has. I was really surprised. I didn't really know what it was about going in, and I was expecting kind of a straight horror movie, kind of like Saw, just based on Reputation, or maybe The Conjuring. But I got this like really fun police procedural, like kind of Giallo adjacent like mystery movie with some really fun gore effects. And I can't like it's a messy movie. There are lots of like hokum and plot conveniences and stuff. Like there's a lot that's like not really well developed, I guess, in terms of like narrative or whatever, but I just had so much fun with it. I don't really care. Let's see. One thing that really added to my experience of the movie is that I don't want to spoil it. The thing that I like has to involve the spoiler, but there's a way, like they use a contortionist in order to like mimic a certain character's movement in the film, and It just looks terrifying, and it's awesome during like extended chase sequences and stuff. And the last like 20 minutes of the movie just turns into like a full tilt, like zany Hong Kong action movie, plus like all kinds of crazy gore stuff. And it's just a really fun time. I hope that you guys get to see it. It kind of went unheralded, I think, a little bit, because it was one of those movies that dropped like directly to HBO Max, and I don't think it ever saw like a theater in America, at least. I'm not sure about that. You'll have to
not sure. I don't know, actually.
But yeah, it was fun. I had a good time.
Jacob in the live chat says he tried to like Malignant, but he says, sorry, James Wan. But the
Yeah, I was
controls
gonna watch. I
good.
was planning on watching it, and then my dad texted me in one day, and he was like, "Hey, don't watch *Malignant*. That movie is bad."
Oh no!
And I'm pretty
Oh, it
sure
sounds right up my
I'm
alley.
pretty sure *Malignant* is his first Letterboxd review, and it's just like, I just wasted part of my Sunday or something along those lines.
Yeah, I know it was divisive when it came out.
Yeah.
But like all the people that I expected to like it did, and all the people that I expected to kind of like cast it aside also did. So I don't know. I thought it was fun. If you think movies that I think are fun are fun for you, then you'll probably like it. But
Jacob said he saw it in theaters.
oh, okay.
All
I'm
right.
glad that I saw theater screens then. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, I was gonna watch this. One of my friends, I love how divisive this movie was, because I heard some people said they hated it and some people say they loved it. And one of my friends said, "Hey, Sophie, you should watch *Malignant*. It's weird. It's super weird, and I think you're gonna love it." And I'm like, okay, but I never got around to it. But I really want to, because I like this person's take on films. And if he said it was good or weird, then I'm like, okay, I'll go for it. But I haven't gotten it yet. It's on my list.
Yeah.
Glad you liked it that much, John. Now it's moving up on my priority list to watch it, because you put it on your number 10.
Yeah. I wanted to watch it, but I did not at the time, and then now it's not streaming, so did not watch before this show.
I'll get around to it.
Okay, let's go to my number 9 then.
Yeah, because Collins was already.
Yeah,
yeah.
also
Yep.
Pizza Time. Yeah.
Yeah. It is The Mitchells versus the Machines.
Wow.
Yeah, it's low, right?
Is this not going to be pizza time? I'm actually surprised by that. Okay.
Yeah. No, I mean, this movie is great. It's just like filled with so much heart, and it's like, about family, and really, really fun time with like the robots, and really gorgeous animation, just like how it blends the 2D and 3D animation. And it's very stylized, which is always great. And like Sony Pictures has done a really great job since Spider-Verse with their movies. And so just I think there's a lot of heart, and it balances comedy really well. Like when I don't know how much I can say. Has everyone seen this movie?
Yeah,
I've seen it.
I've seen it. Yeah.
Okay.
Go for
yeah,
it.
so just like when Maya Rudolph just like comes in destroying all the robots, or like the Furby scene in the shopping mall is just like so many great and fun scenes. And all right, I'm gonna let Sophie talk about this.
Oh, I'm gonna agree with you. I really like this one too. It's a surprisingly enjoyable film, really fun. Of course, I liked other animated movies that came out this year, but this one was still, it's no exception, pretty strong contender for best animated movie of the year.
This is the
it
best
felt
animated movie of the year.
it felt like a mix. It felt like a mix of The Incredibles and Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs and iRobot all in one. I don't know, with the family element, the robot element, and the taking over. I really like the defective robots in this movie. That was a lot of fun.
Yes, yeah.
Those guys were hilarious. But this was really fun. It touched upon nice themes of family and social life and technological achievements and all that. And Olivia Colman playing what did she play again? That evil
The
iPhone
evil
or
cell
something
phone?
like that.
Evil
The evil cell phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Voice casting is great. The animation was fun. It looked really cool. Yeah, I like this a lot. No complaints. Yeah. Sam, how are you?
Okay. Yeah, I tried to like this movie, but oh my god, every time this brother talks, he sounds like a full-on grown adult man because the
Brother's
director
voice is ridiculous.
decided it would be a good idea to just play the 10-year-old boy in his movie instead of like finding someone that could actually sound like one. And it took me out every time. I was like, I can't. Like, I definitely see the good in this movie, but I was too distracted by that. But dinosaurs. I mean, what can I say?
Yeah, the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
John, you have anything to say about it? Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it. I saw it a while ago, so I remember liking it a lot. I basically agree with like what most people said in response, like both good and bad. I thought like the voice acting for the brother was like a little bit. It's an interesting choice, and is a little bit distracting. To just touch on something that someone hasn't said yet. I really like this movie's like portrayal of cinephilia. Like I don't know. I think it's really like I think it's one of the few movies of this type, sort of like popular films, that really taps into what like is like accurately portrays what it's like to be like obsessed with film and making movies, and I think that's really infectious and fun. And I was particularly surprised by by how I feel that way, because a lot of this movie kind of verges on like being a little too like Icon has cheeseburger internet like randomness type of humor, which I have a pretty strong tolerance for, but like it really walks a fine line between being funny and charming and kind of annoying. But yeah, I thought like the character of Katie is just really pleasant, and I liked watching the relationship between her dad, who like misunderstands her. I thought it was quite touching, and that with everything else of the film, because it looks great, and it's pretty funny most of the time, and has a like a really great voice acting cast, minus some the brother. No, I think it's solid. I wouldn't put it in like a top 10 list, and I also didn't really think too hard about it when I saw it, but yeah, I think it's good. It's one of the better animated films that I saw this year. So
I can't touch on any more positives than you guys have. I guess the fact, like, given the subject matter and given Katie's character, I guess my biggest disappointment is that I didn't like it more. It's like I feel like I should have connected to a lot of what Katie does, and I just didn't, and I don't know why. But I mean, I still had a good time. It'd probably be in my top 20 of the year, but I didn't connect with it like everybody else did. And I will say, like John said, some of that humor does toe the line of being like random, like when they're, I don't know, like I can't remember one of the scenes where their faces just get replaced with screaming monkeys, and I'm like, so that's not funny. It's just kind of dumb, but whatever. Still a good movie. I liked it.
Katie's Letterboxd account goes hard as fuck, by the way.
Yeah, I love her. I love her Letterboxd.
That slaps really hard. Her top 50 list, like the first couple are memes, but the stuff after that is like seriously, like good. Yeah, it's good stuff. So.
Okay, Sophie, what's your number 9?
My turn. My number 9 is King Richard. Oh my God! Seriously, you guys?
I tried to download this movie on my flight, and it didn't download in time.
Oh, that's okay.
I haven't seen it. Sorry.
Oh, okay. We got. Thanks. Chipotle's here, but I'll talk about King Richard
I was
first.
this close to watching it.
So 3 of you haven't seen it. Well, that's okay, because then it would have been in your top 10 list if you would have watched it.
Maybe.
No,
Yeah, for sure.
Yes. So
Definitely
what?
not.
Shut up. You don't like it
like
because
tennis.
No, because if it was in my top
like
10,
tennis.
Spiderman would have had to get kicked out. So
I like
King
tennis.
Richard. Yeah, this movie, freaking loved it. I watched it twice. The day it came out and then the day after, because my dad wanted to watch it, and I'm like, I'll watch it. And it's just such an enjoyable biopic. I don't know. People were complaining about it focusing on the dad of Serena and Venus Williams, and I'm like, well, I mean, yeah, he raised them. He kind of pushed them to where they got. Obviously, yeah, they did a lot of the work, but he was like the big factor of it, and I really liked how they focused on him. I think this is one of the best biopics in recent memory. Some of them are very whatever. This one was actually really good, filled with heart. The performances were great. This is probably one of Will Smith's best performances. It might get him an Oscar. We don't know.
Yeah, he'll probably win.
Yeah, part of me is hoping Andrew Garfield will probably win.
He should,
but
yeah.
yeah, he's my favorite performance of the year. But this is like a really great crowd pleasing biopic. It doesn't really end the way you'd think. Well, but like there's some moments that you're like, oh, it might go this way, but it doesn't. Interesting. But yeah, I also really like the score by this unknown composer. His name is Chris Bowers. Captured the theme perfectly. It's got some like hype songs while they're practicing tennis or whatever, and then some really nice. It's a little generic, but it works for the movie, you know. But yeah, I really love the editing of the tennis scenes too. They're so well made. I mean, I would say it's the best tennis movie ever made, but there's not really a lot of them. It's just this and probably Battle of the Sexes. I don't know. But I loved it. It was great. Angelou Ellis was fantastic as their mom. Angelou Ellis. I think that's how you say it.
Angelou Ellis, yeah.
Yeah, and then yeah, I really loved it. It's easily super rewatchable for me. So as a tennis player myself, I'm not as good as these guys are, but it was really nice to watch like all of them kind of just getting better and all of the technicals that they mentioned. He always mentioned open stance, which I don't really agree with him, but that's okay. I don't think it's the best. So.
I mean, you know, he's a very flawed character, which you know you see from the movie.
And they show it, yeah, and it's awesome. Yeah. Well, I'm done rambling now. I think it's just I think Matthew.
I'll speak. Yeah. No, I mean it's a solid movie. Like, I don't think it's top 10, but it's still like a good movie, and it's a feel good, heartwarming story about a father and his daughters. And Sanaa Sidney is very good as Venus Williams. I think I really like her performance, and so is John Bernthal.
Yeah, he was really great. He was frustrated most of the time. I wanted to bring up something I forgot. The pacing of this movie was excellent. It did not feel as long as it was. It's like 2 hours and 20 minutes, but I
felt
wanted
the
more.
length a little bit more, but
okay.
It is 2 hours and like 20 minutes.
I guess I got really excited because it's just tennis. Like there aren't a lot of tennis movies, so I got really, really excited. Tennis, let's go.
Yeah.
That's just it made it my top 10 list. I really like this movie.
Yeah.
Great stuff.
Yeah. I'm not really a sports person, but then I was, this is probably the most invested I've been in a tennis match. So, good job to this movie.
Of course.
But yeah, it's the family dynamics that like really drive the film. So yeah,
for sure.
Solid pick.
Good stuff. All right, I'm done.
Do any of you guys have anything you want to say about King Richard? Just having not seen it.
I was very close to watching it over the Matrix, but it didn't happen.
It's okay.
I mean, I'm gonna watch it someday. I just
please watch it. I highly recommend everyone watch it. It's on HBO Max.
I think Sophie is a good one.
I love you, Sam.
I love you.
I haven't seen it, but I mean, Sophie's sold it on me, and I'm sure that Will Smith is going to get Oscar buzz. I'm sure. Well, he already is.
He's currently the front runner.
Yeah.
He's the front runner, but
I think once the Oscar season starts to intensify and the noms come out, I'll probably check it out. So yeah.
We have the Globes already and the Critics' Choice, but that got delayed. We just got those nominations.
Just got delayed, yeah.
PGA, DGA, WGA, those are coming out soon.
The nominations came out today, so.
They did? Wait, did the Oscar expert come out with a reaction yet?
I don't think so.
Those guys make me tired.
No, they haven't. Oh, I can't wait to see their reactions because I'm going to react with them. I don't
think there's going to be a big reaction for the PGA.
Yeah, I don't want to cause too much of a side distraction, but there's no way that a human being can get that excited about I don't know, fucking
I definitely freaked out when
screenplay noms. Come on.
I love how overreacted they. It's so funny. I love it. It's so entertaining.
All right. Sam, I think you're next.
Yeah, my number 9 is pretty. Everyone either hates it or loves it. It's Last Night in Soho.
Pizza time.
Oh wow.
Sophie, I love you.
That's gonna be. It's kind of like, I guess, a hot take now because not a lot of people like it, but we'll
I
talk
thought it
about
was
it
good.
later.
I'm glad one.
Oh, mine's
person
actually
agrees with the correct
it's actually my
opinion.
number 8. We just had it
Okay,
switched,
yeah,
but that's okay. We'll talk about it later.
John, let's just go to you.
Yeah, I have a hot take incoming too. My number 9 is the Leos Carax film Annette.
This was close to making my cut as well. It was tough to.
Oh, I thought you were gonna have it in your top 10, Matthew.
This was so close. It's like I think it's my number 12 or 11, somewhere there.
I have not seen it.
Yeah,
Haven't seen it.
I started it, but
Go
I didn't
ahead.
finish. I just watched So May We Start and his weird rap, and that's about it.
It's a great start to the movie. So
yeah.
It is. I just had work to do after it. I never got back to it, but I'm going to finish soon.
Yeah. I'm not like super familiar with Leos Carax's other movies. Holy Motors has been on my watch list for forever now, but I had enough of an idea of like what his general vibe was to where I sort of expected, what was going to happen. And I think that definitely helped because this movie's kind of a lot to take in. It's I can't say it's like assaultive on the senses because it's not like offensive in any way, but like it's so weird that like
Yes.
just like it's kind of a hard sit for a little while there. I will admit that I'm not the biggest fan of the first maybe half hour of the movie, 20 minutes or so.
That's all I watched.
Yeah, with the exception of the opening
So May We Start.
with the opening, yeah. So May We Start, which
Great
actually
job.
has kind of a cute pun there. May we in French is like, but yes. So it's like, may we start,
Oh.
may we. So it's like, can we start? Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Oh.
So that's kind of cute. And there are like all kinds of fun little like jokes in there too, like the director himself and then the director's daughter. I don't want to get into this, but there are a lot of people that have like that claim that even though Leos Carax, the director, didn't like write the movie himself, the Sparks did, the band. A lot of people like feel that it's an autobiographical film in some way, and that the relationship that Henry McHenry, Adam Driver's character, and the relationship he has with Annette somehow mirrors the director and his own daughters, which is interesting. I haven't looked into that much, but in any case, yeah, I'll admit to not being like the biggest fan of the beginning of the film. I'm also not like, I haven't really connected with Sparks, like their music. So that's also like a little bit of a hurdle and maybe what keeps it from being higher on my list. But yeah, the movie starts with this like really bizarre, like Adam Driver anti-comedy performance.
Yes.
And like it's a hard sit. Like it's interesting, I guess. when
Evil
it's-
Bo Burnham.
yeah, conceptually, yeah. It's taken the piss out of like Bo Burnham, right? And comedians like that. And it sets the viewer up for thinking that the next like 2 hours or so is going to be like this cultural critique. And nobody wants to watch a movie about like, oh, how there's no such thing as comedy nowadays. And there's like another worrying part where like it kind of veers into Me Too territory. Like it's going to be like another cultural critique of that. But then something happens in the movie that takes place on a boat, and I won't say any more. Just
I think I know what happens. I got it kind of spoiled for me, but it's the gist of the film.
The movie transforms into something completely different that I really wasn't expecting. It also has to do with the birth of the baby Annette, who has, which I also won't spoil, but she has a fairly unique, characteristic. And what I thought was going to be like this cultural critique of like how we can't have comedy anymore or something turned into this really like interesting character study. I don't know if it's really a character study, but it really taps into this idea that like this oh gosh, how do I put it? Adam Driver is like the comedy performance that he gives at the beginning, like the inward hatred that he has for like himself and his comedy performance style and like the things that he stands for. Like throughout the film, you get to understand that that's really just kind of a front for Henry McHenry's own misanthropy, like that he like how much he not doesn't hate himself but hates, like has utter contempt for the world around him, including the people that he presumably loves, and the Annette that he's fathered. And this all kind of like culminates in this whirlwind story that ends with like this just absolutely like really powerful last scene that takes place in a prison. Like this musical number, the only one really besides the beginning that I like. It's really powerful, and it actually like kind of devastated me a little bit when I saw it in theaters. Yeah, I think I'll leave it at there, but it's definitely it's not my favorite movie of the year. And I don't like it quite as much as some of the other people that came out of Cannes did that I like really respect, but it's certainly interesting, and there's a lot there to look at. And yeah, it's art, baby. It's the Kino. I love it.
Yeah. It is a very, very interesting. I feel like I didn't quite understand everything as I walked out of the theater. So I would.
You watched it in theaters?
Yeah, I was still. I went by
Wow.
myself. I went by myself, and then there were like other people in the theater with me. I was like, and we just like bonded through that experience because. Yeah,
I should qualify that Adam Driver and Marion Cotillard are both very good in this.
Yes.
I think, and a lot of people say that like Adam Driver is like really off his game, and I wouldn't believe that for a second. I think this is one of his like.
It's one of his best. I might even go as far to say his best, but like it's hard with Marriage Story. It's like definitely close, neck and neck.
Yeah,
for me.
I think it's one of his best personally.
Yeah,
Yeah, he was really, from what I saw, I liked what he was a very
the first 20
character.
minutes.
The first 20 minutes, he was just like in it. He was in it. I was like, okay, this is what we're doing. I got it. All right, fine.
I also think Simon Helberg was really good. I feel like that one scene where he's like, "I'm an accompanist," is like really. I really like his performance as well.
I thought that scene was kind of corny and silly, but that's only because I can't remove Simon Helberg from like his role on The Big Bang Theory.
I've never seen Big Bang Theory, so
okay.
Big Bang Theory. Oh yeah, Howard.
He's Howard, yeah. So
I haven't gotten to his character yet, so I'm excited to see what's up with him.
All right, we are at the 40-minute mark, so we should probably move on. Sorry.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Good pick, John. I'm excited to finish the movie.
Well, I also really like the song "We Love Each Other" so much. Like I feel like the melody is still in my head. Like we love each other so much. I still have to remember it. I haven't listened to the soundtrack yet for a while, but yeah, I think just the dreamlike nature of the movie and the real nature is very great. Yeah.
Thank you.
My number 9 is Spiderman: No Way Home. You guys already have
Pizza
it.
time.
But no, I didn't even finish talking about Annette because like
sorry,
you guys are just like moving on and like all right.
Well, you know.
Oh, sorry.
You want to? You could
because I do really like the movie. So like just because it wasn't on my list doesn't mean. But yeah, the way it deals with fame and just like child exploitation, and like that celebrity culture, I feel like it's very, very potent, and I want to watch it again sometime. But yeah, that's the last bit I wanted to know, just the themes. So we're good.
Sorry.
So it's your turn, Matthew.
Yes, my number 8 is Spencer.
Oh, pizza time.
All right.
Oh, my number 8 is, I guess we'll talk about this, Last Night in Soho. It's just you and me, Sam.
It's just the two of us. It's a good movie. You're the only other person I have heard call it a good movie.
I like it.
It's a good movie.
Yeah, it's a good movie. I don't know. I like on the Your Right panel. I had a lot of faith for it. So.
All right. Yeah. So I heard a lot of people didn't like it, but when I watched it, so I tried to avoid the trailers like a plague for this one because I read somewhere that the trailer gave away too much. But I go to the movies a lot and they played the trailer. So I had to leave the theater and then come back because I did not want to. And there was one point where I was covering my ears and closing my eyes because I didn't want to watch it. And I'm really happy I didn't because I had no idea what to expect. And I went in blind and I had the time. I had so much fun there were so many twists and turns. The way this film is shot, whenever everyone's seen this, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, the way this film is shot, whenever she goes back to the 60s, it's just it's beautiful. The editing is fantastic. The scenes with like that mirror, I don't remember their names. Anya Taylor-Joy and Thomasin McKenzie, like that was just incredible the way they did that. And one of my favorite scenes of 2021 is when she first dances with Matt Smith, and they kind of like switch the actresses. That is not like edited. That is like one shot. It is an actual dance where like they're ducking under the camera and they're switching places in real time. I saw the behind the scenes on that and I was like, this is incredible, and it makes the scene just so much better. That scene alone, it just deserves a place on like my top 10. But other than that, the movie itself, just a wild ride from start to finish. You have no idea what's going to happen. I love the music. Anya Taylor-Joy's renditions of some of the older songs are fantastic.
Downtown, oh my god.
Downtown and You're My World. There's a scene. I don't really want to spoil it, but am I allowed to talk spoilers?
Yeah, we can spoil this.
Yeah,
We've all seen
yeah.
it.
Okay, there's a scene where Thomasin McKenzie's character is like trying to like crawl up the stairs while the grandma's like with the knife, but then it transitions to Anya Taylor-Joy and she starts singing "You're My World" while they're like she's just slowly going up the stairs. That scene, I was like, wow, this is wonderful. I just love the way he brought the 60s to life in this strange thriller of a movie. And I loved it. I loved every second of it. Sure, there's like, yeah, some of it's a little repetitive or a little like, oh, really? Like you're gonna do this? But I kind of loved it. Yeah, this is fun. I'm not gonna say anything else. Oh, the score by Stephen Price, really great.
Neon.
Matthew got me into it. Neon is awesome. There's another song that I like too that I listened today. But my God, the score is very good. But it's kind of overshadowed by the soundtrack because Edgar Wright is known to use a lot of good songs, which I was going to say, the soundtrack for this is phenomenal. One of the best of the year. Okay, I'm done.
Okay. I did see the trailer before I saw it, and I thought it gave away a lot, but it did not actually give away as much as I thought it did. Yeah, I understand everyone's criticisms, but I liked it. I had fun. I double featured it with French Dispatch. Sorry to everyone that was there. I liked this movie better. Spoiler alert for the rest of my list. Yeah, I thought it was good. I mean, yep.
What was your favorite part?
My favorite part.
Yeah.
I feel like I have the same favorite part as you.
That's good.
Great.
That's one of the best parts. I love that
It's
part.
I would
great.
say the same. That's probably my favorite.
I
part
actually
as well.
didn't know it was one take because I didn't look into that.
I'm
But
gonna
yeah,
say-
now
I'll
that I
send
know, that
everyone-
makes me appreciate it even more.
I'll send everyone the behind the scenes YouTube video. It's
It's
so
great.
cool the way they did that. It's like a dance within a dance. Like they had to hide behind the camera and move around and then pop up whenever the camera. It's so cool. It's practical movie magic. It's so awesome.
Oh,
John.
Yeah, I think I'm in the other camp. I will admit that when I saw this, I was at the same showing that Sam was, the same double feature.
Yeah.
I think I was just tired and maybe also possibly in a bad mood. Because
You also drove,
the
so-
day before had been like
Mhm.
just kind of busy for me, and I had to drive. Not that an hour's worth of driving is like particularly taxing, but I was just like kind of not dozing off, but I was a little bit uncomfortable.
That's cool.
I've made some jokes about Edgar Wright before, both on the show, I think, and then just like sort of in confidence with some of you. But the reality is that I like Edgar Wright. I like his movies. Hot Fuzz and Shaun of the Dead are both like very important films for me. And I respect Edgar Wright a lot as a filmmaker. He's an incredible craftsman. I think that much should be obvious. And I also have a really deep respect for cinephilia. Like there are very few people like that make movies, I think, that like movies more than Edgar Wright. Like maybe Quentin Tarantino, Martin Scorsese, I don't know, but like he is the cinephiles director, I think, even though a lot of people tend to consider his movies kind of like, I don't know, sort of like entry level or normie or whatever. I don't think that's necessarily true. There's a lot about Last Night Soho that I really like. I think it is stylish. I think the same scene that you guys are talking about, I also did enjoy quite a bit. It has like a fun sort of like Giallo Euro sleaze feel to it, and not that I'm particularly well like versed in either of those genres, but I'm a fan of what I've seen, and I liked what they went for here. Thomas and Mackenzie is really great. So is basically everybody. I mean, I didn't really have an issue with any of the actors, and I think the soundtrack also is incredible, as with all Edgar Wright movies. The real part that sort of sticks me in my craw is the ending, and really just the third act. Some of the themes that it develops about like the exploitation of like women and like this in the particular in that industry. I think the way that sort of like that final confrontation in the boarding house plays out really undermines any kind of, it undermines the message that it's trying to make. It's really muddled and a little bit messy. And that just kind of left a really bad taste in my mouth. Maybe I'm being uncharitable to the film a little bit, but yeah, like that specifically really made me leave the movie, not really feeling excellent about it. But I'm glad that other people liked it. There were certainly worse movies that came out this year. So,
Dang,
Yeah.
it's kind of low bar though.
huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a perfectly fine. It is a perfectly serviceable film. I don't even want to say serviceable, like, because lots of it is like really excellently put together. That just like that little thing that happens at the end just kind of ruins it for me. But I'll watch it again. I'm not opposed to it. I like Edgar Wright, so.
I was gonna say it holds up on a rewatch. I'm gonna say that because I watched it twice, just as fun the second time around. And even knowing what's gonna happen, you catch new things, fun stuff. I liked it.
Yeah, I'm on the same page as John. I really like the first 2/3 of this movie, and then I feel like it just gets lost in the third act, and we just have this big explosive finale that kind of feels almost empty. But all the positives that you guys had, I was at the same showing as I think 4 of you. So the soundtrack.
Damn, I feel so left out.
You're kind of
You
far
should
away.
You
visit
should have
more.
flown up to
Yeah,
watch
you
it
should
with
visit, though.
us.
But yeah, soundtrack's amazing. There's a couple movies this year that I have the soundtracks from on repeat, and this is one of them. Visually, it's gorgeous. I think I'd wager it's his best looking film. But yeah, I don't know. It's just like that third act really lost a lot of the goodwill and momentum that the first two had built up. And like Sam said, she liked this one better. I like the French Dispatch a lot better. I'll get to that later. But yeah, it had the unfortunate task of preceding that movie for me, which I like a lot better. So still a solid movie. I'd still rank it like near the bottom of his filmography. But I had fun. I'd be open to rewatching it at some point.
I think I agree that like the third act definitely falls off. I think the mystery element is, and like also just like the ghosts and all that is definitely the weakest part, when it gets to the climax. But I agree that the good outweighs the bad, and like just there's so much. The visuals are gorgeous, like the use of color and like the red and blues. Edgar Wright does a great job at directing this, and like you can see like that visual style. And then I also really like Terrence Stamp and Diana Rigg. I think those performances were also excellent, just like in supporting roles. So you don't, they're not as standout, I guess, as like Anya Taylor-Joy, but I think they improved the film a lot. And soundtrack is amazing. I've listened to it so much. And also just Stephen Price's score. I think you guys have said everything else, so we can move on.
It's my number 8 now, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I have West Side Story.
Pizza time.
Okay.
All right, my number 8 is the Michael Sarnowski movie Pig.
Pizza time.
All right, cool. That's what I thought.
My number 8 is Licorice Pizza.
Pizza time.
Pizza time.
Yeah, I figured.
All right, so let's go to my number 7 is
Nice.
Tick Tick Boom.
Pizza
Same.
time.
Hmm.
Let's
All
go.
right, so Colin and
We're
I
just
both have it.
going through.
All right, we're just making up for lost time here.
Let's
Yeah.
My 7 is French Dispatch.
Okay,
Pizza
we're
time.
good.
All right.
Okay, I don't think I'm gonna be pizza timed because my number 7 is the King's Man. Okay,
What?
cool.
How is this above Spider-Man?
I mean, it's Matthew Vaughn. What can I say? I've seen this movie in theaters 3 times, and
my
I would
God.
go
Oh my
again.
God.
I would go
Wow.
again. Kingsman.
I didn't
good.
watch this. Oh, wow.
You should watch.
Me
Wait,
neither.
have you seen the other 2 movies?
I've seen the first one.
You don't need the Golden Circle. Just go see The King's Man.
Okay.
I'm biased towards this movie. Like, I'll admit it. Kingsman good. Love Matthew Vaughn most of the time.
The Kingsman quote within this club is just the funniest thing to me. I
I don't know. It's so random.
It's
Yeah.
like of all the hills to die on, but whatever. I mean, they're fun. They're fun movies.
I mean, this one this one had a big different feel than the other 2, and I wasn't expecting it. I don't know if it would have been in my top 10 the first time I watched it, but after 3 times, yeah, it's in my top 10. I'd do it again. But Kingsman. Hey, Spiderman is on my list. What more can you ask?
Well, now I gotta watch Kingsman because Sam, you love it, and
I do.
you have good taste.
Thank you. I do. No, I don't have good taste, but I still think you should watch Kingsman.
Okay, I will. I promise.
But yeah, I talked about this movie in the Matthew Vaughn Real Ranked. So if you actually want to hear my opinions, just go watch that one.
I like it, Sam. Keeping it short and sweet.
Yeah, trying to get through, less than 3
All right,
hours.
John,
We'll
let's go to
see.
you.
Yeah, I thought this movie was a crock of shit.
Oh yeah.
I legitimately
Rachel
hate it.
texted me once Rachel texted me while we were in a voice chat. She was like, "Why does John hate that movie?" And I remember asking you, and you were just like, didn't say.
I
don't know.
am very cagey about like giving movies half stars on Letterboxd, because like I like movies, man. Like I want to watch. I want to be charitable. I think every movie has something to offer, probably. But yeah, I just this movie is just. I think. I'm trying to phrase this in a way where I won't like get crucified by people in this club.
I mean, I'm not going to say anything, and no promises the other 2 are even watching it. So.
I've
I'm
always
watching
found
it right
that
now.
extremely annoying. He has like this like 15-year-old edginess to it, which for some of his movies, I think like that lends itself like relatively well to like Kingsman, for instance, a little bit. There's some really fucking horrible things in that movie that I can't stand, but the movie has like an annoying edge like teenage edge to it. This movie also has that annoying edge to it, but instead of like just being like an annoying like scatological like high schooler, it's like the weird high schooler, like the quiet one that like plays like real-time strategy games in the back of class and is like obsessed with war history and is like a little bit racist. Like that's the energy that this movie gives off to me. It's just, never mind the fact that it's like I don't think it's very well plotted. I think that most of the actors in it, all of whom, literally all of whom, I like quite a bit. I just think they kind of phone it in unless they're doing like a wild caricature of something. It's just, I just think like all of the references to like history, I just think are annoying. They're just annoying, and like it's so, but it's not like even funny either. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's just it's made
Is
by
it like
somebody.
is it
Like
like
I don't
National Treasure?
no, I don't want to say the movie being historically inaccurate because like the movie could give a shit about whether or not it's historically inaccurate, but like there is such like a fundamental misunderstanding of like the context for any of this that it's literally it's just using like war history to like aestheticize like a shitty action movie with like generally like not very good action scenes in it too. Yeah, that's really all I got. I think the fight in No Man's Land is kind of neat. The silent one,
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that one's
that's
cool.
neat. It's creative.
That's
I'll
one
give
of the
it
best parts of the movie. I mean,
yeah, for sure, because the rest of it is
that
fucking.
and the Rasputin fight. No,
No, I thought
the Rasputin fight.
whatever, fucking fine. Just, I'll pass it to Colin. I don't give a shit.
Oh, I have no comments on this movie. I haven't seen it because apparently it was bad according to my
Oh,
parents.
let me pipe in. The end credit scene is one of the worst things I've ever seen.
Yeah. Are
Like
we allowed
it
to
is,
spoil this one?
it's so
No,
dumb that it's
At
almost
least the end
haven't
credits.
seen it.
it's so
Ugh.
stupid, it's almost offensive.
Do you know what happens in the end credits scene?
No, I don't know anything about this movie.
Okay, don't spoil it.
No
Nope, I
spoilers.
won't.
It's
Oh
stupid.
yeah, I don't care. So
No,
But Sophie does.
But Sophie
okay.
does.
Matthew,
I
what do
mean,
you?
Yeah.
I guess if you want to, I
No, I'm not gonna spoil
No,
it.
we don't need to. We don't need to talk. We don't need to spoil it. But yeah, I mean, it's a fun movie. It's a
not to John. It's not.
So annoying, dude.
I think Matthew Vaughn tones down his style here, but like it still feels like a Matthew Vaughn movie.
What style? What style?
Oh my
the
god.
15-year-old edgy style. You just said it.
God damn it, dude.
I like how it
Jeez,
blended
man,
in
good.
fiction and history, World War One setting. And yeah, just like the World War One aspect, I enjoyed. You were talking about No Man's Land, and so I thought that was a really entertaining element. And obviously, the Rasputin dance fight is super fun, one of the best scenes in the movie. So yeah, I think just some of the main villains are pretty bland, but I had a fun time. So I will definitely watch the sequel.
It's gonna be a sequel.
It's gonna be a sequel.
If there is one,
If they,
I'd watch it.
Okay. Well,
like
did it make
it's
enough
set up
money?
so that there can be a sequel, but like, I mean, I don't really, I don't know if it'll actually
No
happen.
Way Home in a pandemic. I mean, I feel like there's no way it made enough money.
I mean, I saw The Kingsman 3 times, and I only saw No Way Home
Yeah.
once. So
You're carrying
Crime.
the Kingsman box office on your back.
yeah.
Okay, I got you. All right.
Reese Ifans' best role in 2021.
Yeah, well, okay. He has like what 50% recycled footage in the other one, so it's like
Oh
I don't want to be here anymore. I want to go home.
Reese Ifans, he's great.
Kingsman, good. We can end on that.
Kingsman, good.
John,
I'm sorry, John. I do apologize.
I don't care. It's fine. You can, like whatever you like. It's not a big deal.
we'll move on to your number 7.
Is it my turn? Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay, I think my let me double check. Okay, my number 7 is Red Rocket.
Pizza time.
Baker.
Oh.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I don't have it super far above, but it's above. I don't know what you're good. My number 7. Oh, my number 7 is Tick Tick Boom.
Pizza time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we had the same one. So
Okay.
My number 6. Wait. Okay. Oh, Jacob in the live just saying it was weird to think Rasputin is lizard. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. My number 6 is Shiva Baby.
Ah, pizza time. Oh, it's my turn, right? Sorry. I'm kind of like multitasking right now. I'm still working, but that's okay.
Yeah.
What's my number 7? My number 7
6.
number
Wait,
six.
number 6.
number
the
6,
green,
yeah.
the Green Knight. That's my number 6.
Pizza time.
Yes, Colin. Yes.
That's funny.
Okay.
So happy.
My number 6 is Judas and the Black Messiah. I don't remember
What?
anything about this
That's a
movie, but I
2021
liked
movie?
it.
Yeah, it is.
It came out early 2021 because Oscars,
I thought
obviously.
it was like a 2020 movie.
No, it was 2021.
Yeah.
It's 2021, but it was eligible for
Mhm.
20. I hate
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
screwed up the Oscars were last year. So
Mhm.
confusing with the years.
Yeah, I don't remember a lot about it, but I remember really liking it when I watched it. Could be because I was not a fan of most of the Best Picture noms last year, and I watched them all like pretty much in one weekend. I'm Promising Young Woman is the best one, but that's a 2020 movie, so
Yes.
this one.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That was aggressive typing.
John,
I'm replying to an email at the moment. I haven't seen it. So
oh, you haven't? No,
no,
I haven't seen it either. I started it,
Haven't
didn't
seen it.
finish.
It's
oh
I meant
wow.
to get
So-
to it. I meant to
Yeah.
get to several films in the past week, but I got to like 2.
yeah, I
One of
think
those was Titanian.
I haven't seen this since March, so it's been quite a bit since for 2021 Oscars. But yeah, it's a very gripping story. I think Daniel Kaluuya, he deserved that Oscar, and Lucky
Oh,
Stanfield
yeah,
is
for
also
sure.
great.
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember a lot about it, but I just made this list based off of my 2021 ranked, and it made the cut. So
Yeah, this is a great movie. I just don't remember enough about it to put it in my top 10, I guess. Yeah,
it's good.
you guys should check it out for sure.
Yes.
All right, John, what's your number 6?
my number 6 is the Joachim Trier film, The Worst Person in the World.
I haven't seen it. Sad.
Sad,
haven't
yes,
seen
haven't.
it either.
I haven't seen it. I'm sure I'll love it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, me too.
Hasn't been released.
And then I'm not going to spend much time talking about it. It's as great as everybody says. It's magnificently directed. It has a witty, charming screenplay that just like crackles on the screen. And Renate Reinsve, I think I'm pronouncing her name correctly, is
Wow,
just
that was really
wonderful.
good.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Better than I can with any other.
I would not be able to
person's
pronounce her
so-
name. So.
I think I
No.
completely butchered that actually, but she is honestly a
Okay.
revelation. Like she is so amazing in this, and I haven't seen any of Trier's other movies, and yeah, like she blew me away. If all was right in the world, she would win Best Actress or whatever. I don't care, but if I cared enough, she would be my pick. What else? The movie is like deceptively simple. It's told in 12 parts, and it's really just about this woman
Well,
and her. Well, it's not that long. Like it's 12 chapters. It's about this woman
Wow.
who's kind of trying to navigate like her relationships with 2 other men specifically, and that doesn't sound like if you're a fan of like the kind
sounds like
of
a rom-com.
like if you're a fan of the kind of movie that like Greta Gerwig might find herself in, like Frances Ha, then
Yes.
this is definitely going to be up your alley. I say that
Yes.
having seen Frances Ha, but like
I love Frances Ha.
That's kind of the vibe I got from
So-
what the promotional material. So
I'm
that's-
excited.
that's something, yeah.
yeah. So that seems to be like what people are comparing it to a lot, and I trust these people that say that. Yeah, it's so funny. It's so funny, and it's really really insightful. It starts in a way that it starts one way, kind of like in. It starts like an episode of. Have any of you seen the Lena Dunham movie? Not movie. Series Girls. At all? Like an episode of that? Okay, it kind of starts like an episode of that, and then it turns into something that's far more introspective and like less cynical. Like it's like incredibly moving. Well, the end is cynical, but I won't get into it. It's basically there's this woman that's sort of approaching 30 and just trying to navigate 2 very different relationships that she forms with these 2 men. These relationships kind of overlap in the timeline in a way, although it's not cheating, and you'll understand why.
Wait.
From
Okay.
sort of a key scene in the middle.
I kind of can I stop you right there? I mean, I love what you're saying, but I kind of wanted to go into this a little more blind than I thought. Because you're just explaining the movie, and I kind of want to just I know you love it, but
I'll shut up. Yeah, that's fine.
No.
I'm
I
totally
mean,
fine with that.
because you're kind of just like explaining the plot, and I'm like, no, wait, I want to watch it before I know what it's about.
I mean, okay, so I'm explaining the plot in like the least possible like.
Yeah, I think he's been
At
pretty
least
good about this.
possible
At least
detail.
in the movies
I
I've
don't
Like
think
seen.
to say that a movie is about like a woman trying to navigate her relationships, like come on, that's like so many.
That's a lot of movies. That's a lot of movies.
Very,
and
very broad.
It is so much more than that too, and you'll see why.
Okay, good.
The only reason why I don't think this is higher on my list is just because the movie is about like these people in a very specific stage of their lives, sort of in their late 20s, early 30s, and I'm not like quite there yet. You know, I'm only 22, so I think the emotional resonance of some of the things that happens doesn't quite hit the way it might for people that are a little bit older. But yeah, it's really excellent. Could not speak more highly of it. So yeah, I'll go ahead.
So I believe that's my number 6, which is Red Rocket.
Wait, Colin, did you watch Worst Person in the World?
I did not. I really want to, but
okay.
yeah, I'm pretty sure it was just Sean. Anyway, I'm sorry.
Okay. I was like, people didn't.
Yeah. None of us have. I mean, I've been wanting to watch this too, but
I think it's my most anticipated on the movies I haven't seen from 2021. But yeah, I haven't gotten to it yet. But Red Rocket, I saw this in a double feature with Licorice Pizza, and it ended up being an interesting double feature to say the least.
Yeah. The age gap.
I don't know. Yeah. I've committed the crime of not seeing any of other Sean Baker films to completion. I've yet to finish The Florida Project. I started it and I got distracted and I never got around to finishing it. It's a snapshot of a place that you would never visit and a lot of other movies just don't touch. And Simon Rex is just phenomenal. If I had my way at the Oscars, I would give him the Best Actor of the Year. But alas, it's probably not going to happen because he's not really that well known as far as I can tell. I mean, he's been in a lot of crappy movies. Looking at
wasn't he in a Scream movie or something?
Scary movie. Yeah, Scary movie.
Scary movie.
Yeah, but it's like I don't know how you go from that to just it's just like this perfect portrayal of like this manipulative scumbag. But he's like almost sort of likable at the same time, despite all the awful shit he's doing. Yeah, it's just really funny. It's just a really funny movie, and I had such a good time in theaters with it. And like I said, it's a unique movie in that you're not going to see that setting or those that group of people, and not white trash, I guess, is what they're normally called. I don't know. I'm allowed to say that, but whatever. Yeah. It's just not a common subject for a lot of movies, and I think Simon Rex and the rest of the cast did a really good job. John, you had had it at number 7.
Oh yeah, that was my number 7. Do I go next or should I wait?
I haven't
Matthew,
seen,
have you seen it?
So
all I'm gonna say is that no, I'll wait till VOD to see this one. So
okay,
Yeah.
We're actually like pretty similar experiences then. Oh, have you seen it, Sophie?
I have. This is my number 12 of the year. It barely made my top 10. I actually really like this movie, but I'll let you talk because it's in your list, and then I'll go. How's that?
Oh, okay, sure.
Go for it.
Colin, we have very similar experiences because I also saw this as a double feature in a theater with Licorice Pizza being the first and this being the second. I guess you didn't specify the order.
Yeah, same order. Yeah.
And this is also my first experience with Sean Baker as a director. And basically everything you said about it, I agree wholeheartedly. Simon Rex is really incredible in this. He's so funny, and he is such a scumbag. But Sean Baker like really deftly builds like this character to where he's like he's very obviously an evil person, but like you just can't help but like him. You know, there's like a certain energy way that he carries himself, where you're very self-conscious of the fact that he is a complete asshole, and you just can't. You feel a connection to him, and you want to see him succeed. He is like literally like sexually exploiting like a teenager of age, but which is more than I can say for another movie. Yeah, just to touch on some stuff that maybe you didn't say. Susanna Son, who is like sort of the newcomer. She plays Strawberry. That's her name.
I was blanking on her name, and I should have looked that up beforehand. Yeah.
So really, really great in this. I really loved her. I thought she was so funny, with like this little innocent like Texas drawl. Yeah. She has really, really great chemistry, I think, with Simon Rex. And that scene where she plays the piano is really wonderful too. Spoiler alert, I guess. Anything else to add? The movie is really funny. Like it's a comedy. It's being sort of it was, at least in theaters, sort of being advertised as comedy. But I don't see enough people like talking about just how funny this movie is. Like there's so many things about like that happened in the movie that are just hilarious. Like I just fucking lost it in the theater like so many times, especially that last scene where he's like running through the street. Like
that was so good.
It's so good.
That was such a great scene. I love this ending. It's definitely has one of my favorite, like one of the better endings of some of these movies. Sorry to chime in, but yeah.
Yeah, it's also gorgeous. Like it has a film grain to it that just looks it looks so like lived in and textured, and it looks amazing. It looks great. It's so weird to say that like a movie that's like about kind of like podunk middle of nowhere America with like oil rigs or whatever kind of surrounding it is beautiful, but it really is. It's really a gorgeous movie. One thing that I think maybe like one reason why I might have put it sort of on the tail end of the list is like Sean Baker put a lot of quotes from like Donald Trump like on the TV and stuff on in the background. I presumably to make some kind of political points about like this is scumbag. We're all really like the Donald Trump here. And I think that sort of like maybe the political commentary that he's going for is a little bit milquetoast or whatever. But otherwise, yeah, I thought the movie was really funny and lovely, and I can't wait to watch it again. It's great.
Yeah, John, you basically said everything I wanted to say. I agree with you, and I agree with Colin about pretty much everything you guys said. I really liked it. I did not expect to like it as much as I did because the subject matter is like really icky. And as much as I felt icky watching it, I could not take my eyes off the screen. I was like, I need to know what happened. This is crazy. And I kept laughing. And yeah, I think Mikey, that's his name. He's just so unlikable, but you can't help but like root for him. Like, I hope you do well, buddy. You got this. He's got some charm to his character that you can't just like dismiss, even though he sucks and he's an asshole and he's a manipulative gaslighter and he's just a horrible person, but you're like, you know what, I feel for this guy. I don't know. And it has a really interesting commentary on America. I read a review about how it's like parallel to how easy it is to get away with things and get what you want in like today's world or whatever, no matter who you are or whatever. I don't know. It was very interesting. I don't know much about it, but I just wanted to mention that. And then John, what you said, how beautiful it looks, even though it's filmed in like some like kind of whatever spot of America. It kind of just doesn't look, it's not like anything, but Sean Baker makes it look gorgeous. And yeah, I had seen the Florida Project and I really liked it. And Sean Baker really knows how to make endings, because the Florida Project's ending is one of my favorite endings to a movie ever. Even though I don't love the movie, like I like it, but that ending just makes the movie for me. So this one, I really like the theme that he chose, like one song, and he made it like a theme of the film. And I like the ending of the movie, and I don't want to spoil it, but like this, he does something with the song, and I thought it was very clever. Good stuff. Really like the movie. Honestly, if I rewatch it, it might move up. I don't know. But I watched it in theaters with a bunch of people, and everyone started like laughing or cringing, or I don't know. I cringed a lot, but in a good way, But yeah, good stuff. I like the movie. Good picks, guys. I'm glad someone brought it up.
I'm really glad it's on several people's, or I guess just mine and John's, but that we were all able to
I
talk
was
about it
able
because
to
it's
watch it. I might end up
Yeah.
on there, but I do. But
it's my biggest
like the
surprise of the year.
poster.
I would give it that.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
like the poster a lot. It's fun. It's just him with the donut.
Oh yeah.
All right.
okay.
Is that number
Alright.
5?
I will go to my number 5 then, which
Wow,
is
okay, weird.
Spider-Man: No Way Home.
Pizza time.
Wow. All right.
Oh god, I have mine way too high up on my list, but that's okay.
No, that's such a thing.
Oh, it's my turn. Shit. My number 5 is Spencer.
Me too.
Yay!
That's my number 5
Look
too.
at us, twins. Sam, I love you.
I love you too.
Sam, I'm gonna let you go first because I just talked and rambled
Oh,
for a while
no.
about Red Rockets.
I
It's all
don't
you.
I don't want to go first.
Fine.
Spencer good.
Spencer, good. Spencer, very good.
Spencer
What are you
good.
talking about?
Spencer
He's
really
very
good. Okay, actually, the costumes great. The score great. Kristen Stewart great. Yeah, I'm really hoping for a best costumes Oscar
It's
for
not
this
getting
movie. I
nominated.
mean, I know that the Oscars don't mean anything, but like I'm still hoping.
I also
Uh,
want to say how it's gorgeous looking. The cinematography
Oh,
is
yeah.
Cinematography, oh my God.
fantastic.
Mhm.
Oh my god, I want to eat it. It looks so pretty.
good. I didn't expect to like this movie as much as I did. Like going into it, I was like, I mean, I'm excited to watch it. I've been wanting to, and then I finished it, and I was just like, wow, like that's great. It's of that movie. Yeah, I mean, the score, I would also not mind getting nominated, but I'm more for the costumes and also best lead actress. Yep.
Sam, I completely agree
Alright,
with
John,
you there.
what are your
Oh.
thoughts on Spencer?
Oh, that's right. Okay. Well, it was my number 5. I thought I was going to fine.
Well,
Skip me.
Go. I don't mind.
Just completely skip me. No, it's all John. I'm going last. It's fine. I'll go last.
Okay. Yeah, I liked it too. This was another one of those movies that was like it could go in my number 10 spot. And I put another horror movie instead.
Classic John move.
So I can get cutesy with it. Yeah, no, I think my favorite part of it is almost certainly Kristen Stewart. It is an incredible performance. I mean, Diana is such like, I think Diana is kind of a complicated figure to like to say that's a little bit trite, but like I think she's a little bit of a complicated figure to like portray on screen because like obviously she's so beloved by a lot of people, but she was plagued by like so many issues, a lot of it having really nothing to do with her and just like the environment that she lived in while as a part of the royal family. A lot of people don't really like Pablo Larraín's kind of like formal rigor when it comes to like trying to communicate like this like the claustrophobia and the neurosis that like Princess Di is going through, but I think it serves the film rather well. I think Johnny Greenwood's score, I know that Sophie's going to talk about it, so I won't, but it is great. It is amazing. And it certainly elevates the film. And what else can I say about it? I mean, I dislike like the royal family intensely, but this like, how can you not, feel sympathy for what, Princess Di went through, and how it's portrayed here. So yeah, really brilliant performance by Kristen Stewart, and so it's a really wonderful film. I got to watch more Lorraine going forward. I know Emma, which came out in 2019. A lot of people like, so I'll probably do that one next. And also Jack.
That's the same person?
No, it's a different Emma. EMA.
Oh yeah.
No, that's the same director. You said?
I think so. Yeah. Pretty sure.
EMA.
I know he did Jackie too.
Yeah, Jackie. I've seen.
Oh,
I haven't seen Spencer, so yeah. It's all you, Matthew.
Oh, Colin, you're gonna love it. You gotta watch it.
Yeah,
I'll get around
it's-
to it eventually. Yeah.
It's so good. It is very, very good. Yeah, it's just like a very intimate look at Diana's life, and just like you kind of follow her. You know, it's not like a biopic because like you just kind of follow her psyche, kind of, and like just everything that happens to her in the movie, just very harrowing, and just you know really and Kristen Stewart just like captures her so well and transforms into Diana. And like I did not see Kristen Stewart when I was watching the movie, so yeah, she just does an amazing job. She's my pick for best actress. And then I know you're going to go into the technicals a little bit more, at least with the score. So yeah, but it's one
You
of my
can
favorite
talk
scores of the
about it.
year.
I'll just.
It's one of my favorite
you
scores of the year.
guys can talk about it. I'm probably gonna say the same thing again. But I think, yeah, go keep going. You keep going. I keep
last
pointing
thing
the
is
wrong
that-
way.
The final scene is just I think it's one of my favorite final scenes in a movie, at least for last year. So
Yeah. This is definitely one of my favorites of the year. I mean, it's what is it? My number 5. Yeah, top 5.
Yes.
Really solid top 5. I love all of my top 5. This one, honestly, the more I think about it, the more I want to rate it higher because I only have it at an 8 out of 10. But I think when I rewatch it probably boost it up. But it's interesting because I watched this and there were only 2 other people in my showing, and the lady came out with me. We were paying for our parking ticket, and she was like, I didn't like the movie. And I was like, really? I really loved it. And she was like, I was bored. And then I told her how much I liked it and like, you know, everything I felt and how it was an interesting look at Diana. And it made her like open her eyes and be like, yeah, you know what? You were right. So I made another person kind of like the movie more than when she walked out. So that like it's an absolute win in my book. But I really liked how it wasn't like a straight up, you know, page of the book biopic. This was like something that didn't even happen. It's like a 3-day look on what her life was like during a Christmas time, and I really love that 3-day span. It just felt claustrophobic, and you were there with her, and you just felt trapped. And she was also constantly feeling betrayed and alone and trapped. And Johnny Greenwood just does such a great job with the score and making it, you know, it elevates those feelings. And it's so eerie and tragic and hauntingly beautiful. And it's just perfect. Love it. If Dune didn't come out this year, this would be my pick for best score of the year. Freaking Dune. We'll get to that later. But yeah, again, Kristen Stewart's fantastic. Johnny Greenwood's score is just insanely. I love how he incorporated jazz in this. I actually wrote a whole paragraph on my Letterboxd review comparing how the jazz kind of paralleled her character and her I don't know how to say it. It kind of represents like a charming flair and complexity and the messiness of Diana, and it's just beautiful incorporation of jazz. And it's not your typical jazz, it's like the messy, chaotic jazz. I don't know, but I'm gonna end with one of my favorite scenes of 2021 like films was it's not quite the end, but it's like a sequence that happens towards the end, and it's kind of like a dreamlike, you know, fantasy, and it pairs up with the song called Crucifix on the Scores album, and I listen to it all the time, and it's just so beautiful yet so sad, and you just can't help but feel the same thing she's feeling. And I'm a big fan of the royal family, and I watched The Crown, and I've seen Emma Corrin's portrayal of Diana, but this is just so different. And it's different because of many things, but I love this portrayal. I love this movie. I'm done. Yeah. Thanks for listening to me ramble. Sorry, guys. Great stuff.
Jacob in the light chat saying the Green Knight score though.
I can't wait to get into that.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I can't wait. That's another amazing one. If Dune wasn't, I swear to God, 2021 scores. I have a whole playlist on Spotify.
Yeah.
I have a whole playlist on Spotify with all the songs. Good stuff, man. I
downloaded that playlist. It's really good. It's really good.
Thanks, Colin.
Yeah.
Let me know if I need to add anything because I'm always taking suggestions.
Shoot, I had a thought. I'll get to it after the podcast to look at it again.
Of course. Yeah. All right, Spencer, very, very good. Yeah,
Spencer, good.
Yeah, very good.
I might be frozen. I am on my screen, but I don't know.
We can hear you.
I'm gonna be right back.
Okay. Well, John, we can go ahead. You can say your number 5.
Yeah, my number 5 is a little sleeper hit called Licorice Pizza. All Tom Anderson. Is that pizza time? I didn't hear.
Yeah, pizza time.
Yeah,
Mm.
I figured.
Yeah, makes sense. My number 5 is the French Dispatch. Yeah, I think I have ranked the highest out of everybody. Whenever I do these, I consider driving down to the Indianapolis theater kind of like an event. And whenever I do these event kind of theater watches, it's like, oh, I'm a cinephile. Look at me. But I don't know. This was kind of bound to, or in those cases, it's kind of bound to end up on my list. I go into a lot more detail why I like this film on the Wes Anderson ranked, so I'll keep it brief. I don't know. I mean, like it's like all his films. It doesn't really reinvent the wheel here, but it's just so damn charming, and the score is great, and everything that's good about his films is good here. And I don't need to elaborate more on that. It's just a really good film.
Yeah, no, same. I'm just like, I said a lot more on the Wes Anderson show. So, but yeah, just really great. I think even though I didn't like every story the same amount, I still found it to be very charming, and just I enjoyed the overall feeling of it, and just all great technicals. Wes Anderson at his most stylistic. And Sophie, go.
Yeah, I said a lot about it at the Wes Anderson ranked podcast, so you guys can listen to that of my thoughts. But I pretty much agree. I'm going to make this short and sweet. Love this one. This is the most Wes Anderson that Wes Anderson has ever Wes Anderson. It's just it's exploding in charm and wit, and the styles are beautiful, and the cinematography and the production design is all great, and the score by Alexandre Desplat, awesome.
Sam?
Yeah. I mean, I liked this movie. It had Grand Budapest Hotel vibes, in my opinion. And that's like middle Wes Anderson for me. So this movie was also middle Wes Anderson. Like, it was good. It was good. But like, I mean, second best movie of the double feature that day. There's an orange cat.
Yes. So
Look at that going for it.
orange cat counter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was like, yeah.
And also, the worst person in the world had one, so I should bring this up to 2.
I think it's orange.
Maybe 2.
But maybe. But yeah, I mean, obviously, there's a lot of great actors in this movie because it's a Wes Anderson movie, so that's pretty standard. Yeah, I mean, I liked it, but I think I was tired when I watched it after already sitting through Last Night in Soho and then trying to watch The French Dispatch right afterwards. I wish I had seen just that, because I think that would have affected my opinions of it.
Double features are hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did get a little bit tired.
I feel like double features are harder when they're in the theater and it's just like dark.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I've never done a double feature. I feel like, kind of did a double. I did Come On and half of House of Gucci. Weird double feature.
Interesting.
Very different movies.
Yeah.
I forgot to say that the French Dispatch animated car chase scene was probably one of my favorite scenes of the year.
Oh, yeah.
That's such a great
Love,
scene.
The animated
love
scene
that
was
scene.
really good.
Yeah. Jacob also brought up the animated scene.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, I definitely want to check this one out again at some point when I haven't just watched another movie. So
Sure.
I need to rewatch the Grand Budapest Hotel too.
You do,
Yeah.
Sam. That's
Yeah.
one of the best Wes Anderson movies. He's not mid tier; it's top
It's
tier.
number 3.
He just has a lot of good movies. So,
Yeah, exactly.
You know.
It's a good problem to have.
He does, and we
Yeah.
talked about this a lot in the panel. So yeah,
Yeah.
I wasn't on
Yeah,
that panel, but
it's okay. We missed you, Sam.
I missed you too, Sophie.
I think it's my turn. Sam, are you
Yeah.
finished?
Oh yeah, I am.
Yeah, I like this one too. It's not in my top 10 list, and it was another one of those movies that I could have put in like the 10 slot. I don't know where I'd rank it overall, but yeah, I really enjoyed it. I love Wes Anderson, and like you said, it's the most Wes Anderson movie to ever Wes Anderson. To quote a Letterboxd review that I saw, I think he really put all Anderson-ocy into this one. Sorry, I can't believe
That's going to be immortalized on YouTube and Spotify.
Yeah, great.
And other platforms.
Great.
On
Okay.
other platforms, wow.
Okay. Yeah. My favorite Wes Anderson movies are typically the ones that are a little bit more melancholic. I think he's really, really great at doing that. I think his style is so like, I don't know, twee, that I don't think you would expect like his movies to be so resonant in that way. Like the really acidic kind of melancholy screenplays that he wrote with Baumbach, like The Royal Tenenbaums and Life Aquatic. Those are like probably my two favorite. And then Grand Budapest Hotel is a close second or to those for the same reason, although Baumbach didn't write that one. Yeah, I'm just like with Grand Budapest, I really like the structure with this one. Grand Budapest is like a fun little nesting doll, right? And this one takes that like nesting doll structure and just like blows it up crazy. I think it's not my favorite Wes Anderson film though. I think it's maybe a little bit of the middle of the pack. Like I like the movie for all the same reasons that you do, so I don't want to reiterate them, but just to bring up maybe a point worth considering. I think my enjoyment of the three separate main sections is uneven. I really like the first one, and I love the second one, and the middle section with Timothée Chalamet. That one I don't care for quite as much. The reason why is that I think Wes Anderson, we've talked about this a little bit before, at least in private. Wes Anderson tends to take different cultures, you know, and to kind of use them as wallpaper a little bit. Like he does that in Darjeeling
Limited, yeah.
He does that a lot in
I Love Dogs.
I Love Dogs for sure, which is one of the reasons why I actually don't really care for that one that much. And
I love that one so much.
And he certainly does it here. Like I think on one hand, I think that's like one of the movie's strengths. I like France. I like his sort of like I like Wes Anderson's vision of France, like this fake sort of fantasy. What's the city called again? Ennui-sur-Blasé or something like that. I think it's really fun and realized and fits with his whole style and aesthetic. But specifically with regards to the second section with the student protests, Wes Anderson is drawing from a very real historical event as a reference point, like May 1968. I'm not an expert, you know, on like the political goals of the May 1968 like riots in France and protests, but those had like very real, you know, ideas behind them, I feel, and Anderson just kind of uses that as the basis for some sort of nebulous, like girls need to be let into our dormitory kind of thing, and just kind of treats it as the game when, in my personal opinion, what they were sort of fighting for really wasn't. And so maybe that left a little bit of a bad taste in my mouth. And also just generally, I found it a little bit less fun than the other sections, with the exception of like the song that plays on the jukebox. I think that's pretty fun. But yeah, I think it's great. The last section is amazing. The cartoon sequence, but really everything before and after that too, I just thought was amazing. Jeffrey Wright is like, plays a picture perfect sort of amalgamation of I assume they're sort of aiming for like a James Baldwin writer character there. He's really great in that role. I love the chef character too, and the little insight that he has at the very end. It's really like wistful and sad and melancholic, and really what I'm looking for in like a Wes Anderson movie. And then also, I'm sort of jumping all over the place. And then also the way that that's structured too as well, where you have the interview, then you have like telling a story, and then another story within the story, and then you jump between all three of these things in that last act. Yeah, I thought that was really really fascinating way to structure it. I saw an interesting Letterboxd review that sort of analogized it to like a Russian nesting doll, but instead of like where in Grand Budapest, like you're revealing layers of like history to give it a storybook quality. The nesting, like every nesting doll you take out is somehow bigger. It's sort of like the scope of I wish I could remember who said that on Letterboxd, but I thought that was really insightful and a really, really elegant way to put sort of like the structural conceit of the film. But yeah, it's great. I love it. It's not on my top 10 list, but I don't want that to detract from the fact that I thought it was great. Not my favorite Anderson, but still one of the better movies of the year for sure.
Yeah, I forgot to say I had it on number 7.
Mine was number 14 for me, so just like barely there. But yeah, I did really enjoy it. All right, let's move on to my number 4 then, which is Come On, Come On.
Same.
All right. Yeah, no, I think this was a very heartwarming story and kind of just unexpected how much it resonated with me, even though like obviously I'm not a parent, but like just the way it tells that story is very, very heartfelt. And Joaquin Phoenix, for me, he gives the best performance of the year. That's personally, but and I think just alongside Woody Norman, they balance each other out very well. And like Norman, he plays this kid very well. Like he's charming, he's annoying, but like he's a kid, and I think he does that really well. And just like the way these characters, just like how they grow through being with each other, and it just feels very, very authentic. And like just like when I don't know how much I should say about this movie because I don't want to go into super spoilery stuff. I don't know how much you can
Has everyone seen it?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't.
Oh, I've seen it.
Me too.
I don't know if I can
I'm the
share.
only one who hasn't. So.
Do you care about spoilers? It's not really movie.
I mean, it's like
it's not really a spoiler heavy movie.
I mean, it's just kind of one.
I'm
Yeah,
pretty
I would recommend
like
it, though.
zoning out for a second, so I'll just zone out for a second.
Okay, but like I really love the line when he's just like when he's talking to Joaquin Phoenix and he's just like, "Am I gonna remember this when I'm older?" And Joaquin Phoenix is just like, "I will," and it's like really, really touching. And yeah, also the interviews. I love the interview scenes and just like they weren't scripted, which I found out afterwards.
Interesting.
Well, that makes it better.
Yeah, it does make it better.
Yeah. Sophie?
I guess I can go. I watched the trailer and I was really excited for this one. It was probably one of my most anticipated A24 movies of the year, besides Green Knight. And I watched it and I left the theater very disappointed. I was extremely underwhelmed. I don't know why I expected more. I've seen Mike Mills' 20th Century Women three times. I love that movie. Absolutely adore it. It's a beautiful slice of life of what it was like to be like a woman as an older one or as a younger one, middle aged, whatever, in the 70s, and I loved it. So I went, and this one was like, it's probably going to be similar. And I guess it was, but I did not care for the characters at all. I was just like, okay, I don't know. Yeah, I didn't resonate with them. I didn't really care for the kid, maybe because I don't like kids. He just seemed annoying, and I'm like, just, shut the fuck up. I don't know. That's probably just me being a cold bitch. I don't know. But the music was sweet. It was I think it's the same guy who did 20th Century Women, and it's got like some ambiance to it, which was nice. I did like the interview scenes a lot. I thought that was beautiful. It's probably my favorite parts of the movie. I wish there were more of them, and the fact that they were unscripted makes it really cool. I may like it on a rewatch. I just felt disappointed and underwhelmed, and I hate saying this. Like, I know a lot of people love this movie. Just didn't hit me the way I wanted it to. I guess maybe it didn't meet my expectations, which sucks because I hate really having a lot of expectations going into a movie. Because I really like the trailer, but whatever. Joaquin Phoenix does a great job. His performance is awesome. But yeah, that's about it. I don't really have much else to say about it. John?
Yeah, I saw it. I didn't love it quite as much as everybody else, but I found it a very pleasant film to watch. Um, I like the kid. I like kids that are little shitheads.
Yeah.
I think they're cute, and it's just, yeah, I found it like very endearing. The relationship that the kid forms with Joaquin Phoenix. Something that hasn't been mentioned yet is Gabby Hoffman, who plays the mother. I think she's really, really great in this. Possibly even like a better performance, maybe than Joaquin. I think is a little bit
She was
of a
really
hot take,
good.
maybe.
She was really
Yeah,
good.
I don't have a ton of thoughts about like what happens. I just sort of I didn't think about it critically. It was just kind of nice to watch like this relationship kind of foment the way it did between the kid and Joaquin. The one thing that kind of struck me as odd is that I think maybe it's just because I'm dumb, but like the connection between the interviews that Joaquin Phoenix is doing, and sort of maybe the thematic underpinnings of the film, the connection isn't like immediately obvious to me. And now that I know that like these aren't fake, like these interviews are real, which I didn't know until Matthew mentioned it. That sort of complicates, I think, like the film a little bit. One of the reasons why I didn't care as much for Nomadland as a lot of other people did is that I found sort of the hybrid of documentary realism and like this narrative film to be really awkward. Like you have these people that are sharing like very like in Nomadland, to go on a little tangent. You have these real nomads that are sharing, which is ostensibly like very real traumatic experiences that they had about suicide, having to deal with cancer, and then having like this this amazing actress Frances McDormand was great in it. This like multi-billion dollar actress is like with a net worth of like millions of dollars or whatever, sharing like a fake trauma that just it comes off as very awkward to me. And now that I know that this is also like these interviews are also true, because a lot of these interviews are like they're inspiring and they're very nice, but some of them are quite traumatic. Like some of these kids went through some really traumatic experiences, especially the ones in New Orleans that had to reckon with like Katrina. So I think that rubs up a little bit awkwardly with like the rest of what the film goes for, maybe a little bit for me. If any of you can sort of unpack what the interviews mean in like the broader thematic context of the film, I would love to hear your thoughts, because for me, I recognize it as maybe a little bit of a framing device, but it's not immediately obvious, although pretty pleasant like in the moment. Anyway, yeah, I liked it though. Like.
I want to point out that this is. Oh, sorry. Go. Oh,
No,
go for
no,
it.
go ahead.
I just wanted to point out that I really love the way this film was shot in black and white. It was kind of really beautiful looking. Probably the best. Tragedy Macbeth was really good looking too, but this one was just beautiful. Like I really loved the long takes of the city skylines and whatnot. Beautiful. I really like that. That's it. Okay, go.
I wish I was able to decipher the meanings of these interviews. The most I can gather from them, communication is kind of a big part in this film, and the reason I feel like the reason that the brother and sister drifted apart, I like the brother and sister dynamic that they come together towards the end of the film through the experiences in the film. And yeah, best I can say is just communication, better communication, that these kids are allowed to speak freely, which is I think what was limiting the sister. I've already forgot the actress's name. I apologize, but she was really good in the film.
Gabby Hoffman.
Yeah. And I think their lack of communication over the mother, it's just like that. The kids, I don't know where I'm going with this. The kids were allowed to speak freely in the interviews versus he wasn't allowing that same thing to happen between him and his sister. It's a cathartic film for me. I'd finished a long day of traveling, and it was just really, really cathartic. It delves into heavy topics without feeling too heavy. I don't know. It was like I said, I think it's it's product of the situation I was currently in when I watched it, and I'm afraid to rewatch it because I don't think it would hold up as well. But for right now, I have really fond memories of it, and traveling back. I think is what made it so good. It's just a really long day, and a really nice movie to just sit down and just kind of enjoy.
Yeah, I mean, definitely like talking about emotions and stuff like is a big part of that movie. And when they're screaming at the end, where he's like, "I'm fine," just like
Mhm. Yeah, those are my favorite scenes in the movie when they're at the park and then he's like, oh, it's okay to not be fine, and they just scream a bunch. I thought that was again an example of it, how cathartic it is, just to let that
yeah.
stuff out every now and then.
I really wanted to like this one more. I feel like if I rewatch it, I'll probably will, but dang, I don't know. Hearing you guys talk about it though does make me feel like okay, yeah, there's some really good parts of it, but that ultimately fell flat. I don't know, but I definitely have to give it another chance. Just like Power of a Dog is one that fell flat for me. I have to rewatch it because I feel like I'll like it better the second time around. But I like your insights, guys. That was good.
All right. Should we
It's my
move
turn?
on to Sophie? Your number 4.
My number 4 is Coda.
Pizza time.
Oh, okay. My number 4 is Tick Tick Boom.
Yay!
Yeah, I'll start off by saying Orange Cat.
Yeah.
Yep.
Bring up the counter, which may be 2 or 3, depending on if there's an orange cat in the worst person in the world.
Yeah, I really liked this movie. It took a lot to convince my family to watch it for who knows what reason. I was like, come on, it's Andrew Garfield. But I eventually got them to watch it, and I like all the songs in it. I knew like half of them because I've been on TikTok for longer than a day. Yeah, I mean, Andrew Garfield, great. Everything, songs, great. I'm not a big Lin-Manuel Miranda fan, but he's good. He's a good director. Well, okay. He directed that movie good. I'm not going to say he's a good director when he only has one directed movie. But yeah, I mean, there's that Lin-Manuel Miranda jump scare, but other than that, it's a good movie. Yeah, I think my main thing about him is he just puts himself into every piece of his work, which, I guess fair, but at the same time,
at least there are other cameos during that scene, so.
Yeah, that scene was really cool.
He wasn't in Encanto, was he?
No.
I don't think
so. No jump scare for. Because he was in.
But also it's animated, so.
I was like, yeah, how hard did
he's in Moana, he sings a song in Moana.
He sings a song in Moana, so. Yeah, the scene where it just brought in a ton of Broadway actors was really cool, especially because I watched Hamilton with my family, so it was cool to see them even getting excited to see Hamilton cast members because my brother really likes the show. So they're not big musical theater fans, but I don't know, even that was I was oh, he was in Rent, she was in Hamilton, and they knew what I was talking. It was fun. I love it's a good movie.
John.
John.
Oh. Yeah, I didn't think I was gonna like this one as much as I did. Again, this is a movie that didn't make my list, but I did enjoy it a lot. I think my favorite part of it is definitely Andrew Garfield. He was an actor that I was not. I haven't always been sort of plugged into, but I think after this year and the stuff that he's been in, that I've seen recently, I really have a much stronger appreciation for him. As an actor, his performance in this is really incredible. I hope he wins Best Actor again. The Oscars, do they really matter?
Yeah,
but it'd be nice to see him win.
And he's not really a singer, so that makes it more impressive.
He learned to sing for them.
Yeah. Jonathan Larson has not been a particularly important figure in my life per se, and neither has Rent. I don't think I've ever listened to Rent. Or seen the movie or any stage adaptation of it at all. This all of this biographical information that I got from the film was all new. And yeah, it was really touching. I'm not entirely convinced maybe of Jonathan Larson's like genius, but it's very obvious that he's like talented. He's very, very talented. Very, very talented, and definitely somebody that was probably like from the movie. He's definitely an artist that was taken away too soon. I don't know why I phrased it that way. Like he was obviously like a very genius like
Yeah.
composer. I don't know why I said that. I think I'm just tired.
Fair.
Yeah, sorry. I'm gonna be honest. Not a whole lot of the musical numbers have stuck with me, besides like the ones that are widely disseminated on TikTok. So like the Bohemian song, like the Boho, and 3090, of course, which is a banger.
This is the life.
And yeah, I generally found it all pretty enjoyable, or at its very worst, inoffensive. I was expecting way worse. I was expecting way worse from Lin-Manuel Miranda as a director. I thought it was going to be one of those like Aaron Sorkin situations where like he's very talented in one area and less talented when it comes to other parts of filmmaking. But no, he did a good job. I thought he did a good job anyway. Musical direction and like film direction. So yeah, I liked it. It was good. I enjoyed it more than I thought I would.
All right, Colin.
Yeah, I don't have too much to say about it that hasn't already been said. I know a lot of musicals. If I see that they're highly recommended, I'll watch them, and then usually I'll turn them off. But I don't know. I kept watching Tick Tick Boom, and I ended up really enjoying it. 3090, Boho Nights, both bangers. They're on my liked songs. I guess that's the most I can ask for from a musical most of the time. So I'm happy with it. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I just enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would. So I was surprised by it.
Yeah. No, I mean the soundtrack is great. Come to Your Senses, also Therapy, Swimming, all
Louder than words.
Louder than words. Yep. Yeah. I really like the soundtrack. I've been listening to it a lot. I think Lin-Manuel Miranda, his direction, I think he brings a lot of passion. Like you can feel his passion for Jonathan Larson and just like Tick Tick Boom in general. So I think he did a great job just directing this feature. And yeah, Andrew Garfield, amazing. I've been a big fan of him for a while now. So it's great to see him get a lot of love for this. And very, very close behind The Silence and Hacksaw, but just great performance. Captures his little like intricacies and stuff like that. Just like when you see him, Jonathan Larson himself, at the end of the movie, you can definitely see that. And Andrew Garfield learning to sing is great job. His American accent also just amazing. And then
I forget he's British.
Yeah,
he's British.
He's British.
He's British. He's just so good at it. American accent.
Has he ever played a British person like on screen? I don't think I've ever seen him play anything besides an American. Or I guess.
Oh, that's a good question.
I don't know.
He probably has, but I don't know.
He has to. Yeah.
I mean, he was
Probably.
in Hacksaw Ridge. He was in Silence. But those were American accents, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are American.
Not many. I haven't seen
funny.
Mainstream or Breathe or a lot
I
of these,
have
but
seen Breathe, and there's a chance that Breathe was British, but I think Breathe is British. I think Breathe is British.
I think Never Let Me Go would probably be British, right? Because there's a lot of British actors in that movie.
Oh my god, now that song's in my head.
This is the life. Yeah, Robin Williams is great as his best friend. Oh my god, just like
he's amazing.
Vanessa Hudgens too, and Alexandra Shipp, and just like Vanessa Hudgens and Garfield when they're singing Therapy, and just like their facial expressions, they bring so much energy to that. And I love how that's cut between the argument. That's
one of my favorite scenes of the movie. I love the way the editing in this movie is phenomenal. It's so good. And Lin-Manuel really knew, like he had a vision and he really knew what he was doing with this. Like to piggyback on what Matthew said, you could just feel his passion. And big reason is because I think he just resonates with Jonathan Larson, and he actually played Jonathan Larson in a production of Tick Tick Boom. There's like videos of him singing 3090, and it's not very good, but it's something.
It's not, but
He tried.
He still clearly has passion, but he's
Yeah.
just not.
Yes, and that's what matters, and that's what I loved about
Yeah.
it. And this is one of the few movies on my list that I had like in the middle, but it slowly made its way up. Like every time I think about it, I haven't rewatched it because when I first watched it, I was like, "Oh yeah, this is good," but I didn't like love it, you know. And the more I think about it, and the more I listen to the music, and the more I want to rewatch it, the better it becomes. And it barely made my top 10. Honestly, if I rewatch it, it'll probably crack my top 10, and this video will have been for nothing, or this top 10 thing, because it's not.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, they always change, top 10.
Yeah, they
there-
always
there-
change, but
There's a few. I'm sure there's a few things
I'm
here
really-
to change.
yeah. I'm really glad I get to talk about some of the films that didn't make my top 10, because honestly, they could have very well have been, but they just didn't. There's a lot of movies I really liked, this one included. I wish it was in my top 10, but it's not. But it definitely feels like one, because of how much I think about it and how much I listen to the music. Like Matthew said, 3090, great song. But I find myself listening a lot to Come to Your Senses. I find that I'm a sucker for some ballads. So beautiful song. I love blasting it and just singing at the top of my lungs in the car. Come to your senses. So good. And I really like how it's switched between Alexandra Shipp and Vanessa Hudgens. That was great. Great scene.
Yeah.
Great part of the movie. It's just awesome. I'm dying to rewatch it, but I have so many other things to watch. So it's like conflict of like, I don't know what to do. But I'm definitely going to get around to it again. Because when I first watched it, I was mostly paying attention. I was also working. So it was like back and forth. I feel like I wasn't totally dedicated to it. So I owe it a rewatch. But I really love the movie. Yeah. I mean, I can't really, I'm not going to say anything else. Everyone else, I agree with a lot with what Matthew said. So.
Can I add something real quick to Sophie's?
yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to speak to what you said about like how well edited it is, like the way that the movie jumps between like the actual events of Jonathan Larson's life, like I guess which is the later adaptation of the musical, and then like the one-man stage production that he does, I think is really well done.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
also the something I forgot to mention that I really liked about this is Bradley Whitford's.
I was just about to bring that up. Yeah.
Yeah, Bradley Whitford's like picture perfect, like Stephen Sondheim. Like
yeah,
it's so
that was great.
Oh, yeah.
it's one of my favorite bit parts. My favorite bit part of the year, and one of my favorite bit parts I think ever. Like it's so good, and so perfectly Sondheim. And it came at a really great time, since the movie came out just a little bit before his passing. So
Great. Yeah. But,
Yeah.
I was gonna
Sondheim's
say-
cameo in this is also great. Like, yeah.
yeah. That's actually him on the phone, right? That was
Yeah.
the cameo.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I was gonna say the whole back and forth from the one man show to his actual life. I rewatched Chicago yesterday, and I was like, it kind of reminded me of that back and forth thing. Obviously, it's different, but like it got that feel to it, and I'm just like, this is cool. I like it when movies do that because it's just it kind of steps away from reality and gives it its own flair of like I'm not gonna just sing in the I guess he does sing in Sunday. It's got a different. I need to rewatch this movie because I forgot a lot of things that happened. Whatever. I'm just gonna bring that up. Yeah, I really like how it goes back and forth. Good stuff. Great movie. Tick Tick Boom, good.
Tick Tick Boom, good.
I don't even remember who's next.
John,
John,
what's
right?
your
John.
four?
Four.
Okay. Yeah, my number 4 movie is Jane Campion's The Power of the Dog.
Yeah, I mentioned it. But, go for it.
I
John.
haven't seen it, so
Uh-oh.
I haven't seen it.
I'm gonna zone out again.
I have, so I can't wait to listen to what you have to say because I've heard.
I have to.
I just don't want spoilers. That's why.
Oh, okay. I won't.
Oh, you can spoil. I just zone out whenever it's a movie I haven't seen. So if you talk about spoilers, there's a good chance I won't even catch it.
Okay. In that case, I'll keep my comments short. I'm not much of I haven't seen a lot of Jane Campion's films. I saw The Piano when I was really young, like way too young to watch it. And I also saw it with my mom, which is like doubly weird. But so this is really my first like adult sort of exposure to Jane Campion. And it's a movie that I liked when I first saw it, but it's really grown on me since like kind of sitting on it, thinking about it, rewatching certain scenes and sequences. Like the movie is so understated, right? Just everything about it is really understated. Even like Benedict Cumberbatch, who is I think this is one of his career best performances, and it's really really great to see him in something that's not like either like. Don't get me wrong, I love him as Doctor Strange, but it's nice to see him in like a movie that's sort of outside of that comic book, movie universe. Not that that's a bad thing necessarily, but it's good to see him in like a real meaty role. And he is really great in this. I wasn't a huge fan of it initially, but yeah, going back and revisiting it, I think it might be like.
I think that's what I need to do, John. Yeah, I need to go back and watch it again because it.
And the other performances too from Cody Smith-McPhee, Jesse Plemons, and Kirsten Dunst. Yep, they're all really solid too. Anyway, what I was saying with Benedict Cumberbatch, like he goes like pretty hard in this role, but even so, it still feels like really understated. And the really amazing thing about this movie, I think, just in terms of form, is that even though it's so understated, like it is still so precise with its visual storytelling. I won't elaborate because I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but like the way that the camera is placed in specific scenes, one that I'm thinking of just off the top of my head is the scene with like the banjo upstairs.
Oh yeah,
reveal
that's
with,
one of the best scenes.
Also when anyway, I'll get to that. Yeah, so the form of it, like the actual filmmaking, I was just like really blown away by. There's a twist at the end, a revelation about Benedict Cumberbatch's character that really like hits home this movie's broader themes about sort of masculinity and sort of internalized homophobia and that kind of thing. And it comes off as like a little bit odd and a little bit like of a dated sort of reveal. And I think part of that is just the source material. It's adapted from a book, I think, from either the 50s or the 60s. So I think that would play a lot differently to an audience's then than it does now. But yeah, really the evolution, like that slow reveal of the character anyway, of that aspect of his character, the male figure that Benedict Cumberbatch has. I won't elaborate on that either, because spoilers. But yeah, the way that that's all put together, I thought was really, 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 really wonderful. All the characters in this are also like super low stuff. Like they're so good at playing like totally different aspects of like a bad person. Yeah. I don't know how much more I can say about it. I think it's really, really, great. One of my favorites of the year. I can't wait to jump into more Campion. There's so much more I could say, but I'm actually kind of interested to hear what you have to say, because I think just judging from body language and stuff, I think some of you might have some different opinions on this one. So yeah, I will throw it on over to whoever else is seeing this.
I don't have a lot more to say. I don't really have a lot to say besides because John has said everything. Like I really enjoyed this as well. It's my first Campion movie too, so I feel like I definitely want to get to more and maybe just like follow along with Blank Check and watch Campion movies like they're doing. And so yeah, I really don't have much to say because John's already said everything. Johnny Greenwood's score also is very, very good.
Yes, I forgot to mention that. It's very good. Johnny Greenwood just tearing it up. One of the best, man.
Yeah.
3 scores this year that are all great.
Yeah.
What? What's the other one?
Licorice Pizza. He has that one bit in Licorice Pizza. That's
there was
great.
a score in
Yes,
that?
he has like I don't know, one like 3-minute score.
Yeah,
Song.
it's
Yeah.
great though.
It is good. It's a good song.
Oh yeah. I watched this, but I was not paying attention when I should have. it's another case of Tick Tick Boom where I was kind of working while watching it, but I kind of paid more attention, but I was distracted, so I need to rewatch it. I got the gist of the film. I was kind of bored. It is a slow movie. I wasn't in the mood for a slow movie, but I forced myself to watch it because it had just come out, and I'm like, I need to watch it. I will say I've been listening to Johnny Greenwood's score of The Power of the Dog a lot. I love how unsettling it is. I mean, he's really good at just creating that unsettling theme for films. I give the slight edge to Spencer just because, to me, I like the movie better, so I like the score better. But the power of Johnny Greenwood's score, that's literally what my review for The Power of the Dog. I really need to revisit this one. I don't really have much to say besides I do agree with you, John, that banjo scene is just excellent. It's so tense, even though it doesn't it shouldn't be, because it's just like, oh, I'm gonna play an instrument, but I'll play one too, but let's see who can do it. It is I was like, oh my god, what's gonna happen? Benedict Cumberbatch was great. Jesse Plemons was fine. I didn't really think he was amazing or anything. He was just played Jesse Plemons. Cody Smith-McPhee was definitely the standout. Him and Benedict Cumberbatch were my favorite performances.
Dude, I love that little cutaway gag where he's playing with the hula because he's mad.
Yes.
I laugh so hard when that happens. It's so funny. Yeah.
Yeah. So Kirsten Dunst was fine. I thought she did really good, but
Thomas Mackenzie also in the movie.
Oh yeah, just playing herself too.
yeah, she just
playing herself. No accent or anything. Or not really, I guess. It's just Thomas Mackenzie.
It was just Thomas and Mackenzie.
Yeah, she did a Thomas and Mackenzie jump scare.
I am confused, but okay.
It's definitely one of those movies that demands your complete attention.
Mm-hmm.
Not that you're at fault for not doing that, because people are busy.
I didn't know it was gonna be. I mean, yeah. That's I realized that after I watched it. I was like, shit, I need to watch this again.
It's definitely
I
worth
missed many things.
I was very engaged at the beginning, and then just at the end, I was just it really grew on me. It keeps on growing. So yeah.
If there was one thing I wish the movie did, it's there are a lot of criticisms about it where the end, there's not this explosive catharsis that people think the movie should have ended on, but I actually think the movie is I think it could have ended more ambiguously and even been more powerful. That's just my own personal opinion, though. To anybody who's listening and seen it, you'll know what I'm talking about, sort of a scene towards the end, but it's great.
Yeah.
Colin, your turn. Go for it.
Number 4, right? Come on. So yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, same as mine. So let's go to my number 3 then, which is A West Side Story.
That's my number 3 as well.
All right.
Wow, that's really high for this
movie.
I'm so ready. I'm so ready to say my. Oh gosh. Okay, go. Oh, get ready.
I really like the original movie, so it's just I think this is such an improvement on what's already great about the original. And Steven Spielberg he's an excellent director. I don't think anyone can disagree. He hasn't done the best work recently, so this is just a new Spielberg. It's his first musical too, which is very surprising because you feel like he's done this for years, and this is his first time directing a musical, and he does an amazing job. I'll start with The Elephant in the Room and say Ansel Elgort's definitely the weakest link, but I don't think that brings down the movie that much that make me hate the movie. I think he's fine, and he can sing. It's not, but when you're placing him next to Rachel Zegler and Mike Feist and Ariana DeBose, who's just phenomenal as Anita, it's going to be really hard to compare, and Ziegler is definitely just a star on the rise, and just her singing voice is amazing. I feel like I can say more, but I feel like I'll let Sophie speak now, and then
I just want to point out before I start on my rant, I really like this movie. I was surprised. I was like, oh wow, but I expected to like it more. I have some critiques and criticism, like just things that didn't work for me at all. But overall, like the good outweigh the bad for me. Like this was a lot of fun. It was beautiful. Cinematography was gorgeous. Songs were great. I don't find myself listening to the songs as much as I am like In the Heights or West Side Story or Encanto, you know. But they've still got some pretty good songs. Obviously, it's a remake from like an older musical, so it's Leonard Bernstein's. It's classic. Yeah, I loved Ariana DeBose was definitely my favorite. And her character, I loved Anita. I wish she was the main character. I could have cared less about Tony and Maria. I literally couldn't give a shit about them. This is whatever. Honestly, the whole love at first sight thing, it works sometimes, but with this one, she was great. But like, I don't know anyone who would lock eyes and be like, "Ooh, Ansel Elgort, love at first sight." I didn't work. I was not sold at all. I wasn't sold. I was like, this just feels so forced. There wasn't really that much chemistry. I don't know. He just seems so awkward and tall, and she was very short, and it just didn't. I don't know. It didn't work for me. I didn't like his character. She was just. I mean, she was fine, but Anita and Bernardo were my favorites. So that everyone's seen the movie, right?
I mean, it's also
Yep.
60 years old, so.
Yeah, I mean, I know what happens. I've seen the
Okay.
original, so
So
unless there's
here's the
a new
thing.
twist.
No, but they do reshuffle some of the songs, and I'm not.
I don't.
Here's the thing with this.
That's not
Here's the thing with
an
this. So there's something that happens called the Rumble, and two characters die.
Yeah, that's in the original.
Yeah. I never cared about
And
Rich
then-
before until this movie, so.
And then he was really good in that movie too. And then they cut to I Feel Pretty, and it was just
Yeah.
a weird shift in
It's a great
tone.
part, yeah.
I was like, what? I didn't even have time to mourn these characters. What are you doing? You're saying I feel pretty. I don't feel pretty. I feel sad. You know? Come on. That was so weird. I did not like that. I understand that that's how it is in the original Broadway production. They changed it in the 61 version, which I think the placement for that one works way better. And then this one they brought it back, and I was like, no, didn't work for me. I thought it was shitty placement. Didn't work. I honestly, so that was one of the things that I did not like, that sudden shift and whatever. Those are like the two big things. I also thought that almost near rape scene was super unnecessary. I don't know why they had that in. Terrible. I mean, we're in the 21st century. You can take it away. Yeah, those are my like big problems with it. It's the reason why it didn't make it's number 18. I mean, I like everything else. The whole sequence of America was just probably one of my favorite. I think it's my favorite what's it called? Musical sequence in a musical movie this year. It elevates the movie so much that it's beautiful. The dancing, so good. So as you can see, I'm clearly mixed on like a bunch of things here, but it's good outweigh bad. I enjoyed it. I'll probably watch it again. I've seen it twice. So and I got to kind of but I got to see Rachel Zegler, Ariana DeBose, and the guy who plays Bernardo. They came to my screening because I worked one of the screenings, and they came to my theater and they said something, and it was super cool. So yeah, that was awesome. I was a little starstruck.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't originally going to see this movie because of Ansel Elgort, but then a couple of my friends asked if I wanted to go, and I was like, I mean, yeah, I'll go for friends. But I ended up liking it. I had another thought. Let's see. Where is it? Oh, okay. Yeah, I was very disappointed that Brian Darcy James was in this movie, and he did not even get to sing. Love that man. He's in the original Broadway cast of Something Rotten. He should have. I mean, for the character, I don't think should have gotten a song. Brian Darcy James, I do think should have gotten to sing.
Fair, yeah. G Officer Krupke is a great scene, though. I really enjoyed it in this.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It was good. Yeah, I'm very tired. So my thoughts are going to become minimal-er than they've already been at this point.
Okay, well, John.
Sam, I feel there. I am dying here. I am exhausted. I think it's because it's so warm in here in the room that I'm in. I'm just really tired and nice. But yeah, West Side Story, man. This is the biggest surprise of the year for me. I went in. I kind of went on a whim to my showing, thinking like, oh, I was skeptical that the movie was going to be able to justify its own existence. And when I left, I was, seriously considering whether or not it was better than the original. I still don't really know if I like the original more or not. I think both have different strengths and different weaknesses. I can get into that later, but yeah, this movie is, I think, a miracle. It was amazing. I loved it. I loved every second. It's the only movie this year that I saw twice in theaters. Just to address the elephant in the room again, I would say that Ansel Elgort, who let me preface this by saying I think Ansel Elgort is a bad person. But okay, that being said, blanket statement. I think he is the weakest part of like the essential four characters of West Side Story. But I think it's less that he's a bad actor and a bad singer. He's certainly not a bad singer. I think he could definitely carry the role of Tony, which is a notoriously difficult role, just like Maria.
Yeah.
It has to do with the fact that just the other people around him just outclass him. Like at every step. Rachel Zegler is incredible. She's really a revelation, like I said with Renata earlier, and Mike Feist. What's his name?
David Alvarez.
I don't know why I said Brian. David Alvarez and Ariana DeBose are all incredible, especially Ariana DeBose. Like I cannot say that enough. She's a firecracker and amazing. Not firecracker in the way that people derisively referred to her like to Rita Moreno originally, like in the role, but like she is so full of life and vibrant in the role and just incredible. Certainly my favorite part. The reality of West Side Story, and this is also just generally true of Romeo and Juliet, like the pure Shakespeare, is that they're not really like Tony and Maria aren't fleshed out characters. They're just they're supposed to be just young love. They're young love in the moment, sort of spontaneous. They're not supposed to be like fleshed out. They're ideas, right? They're concepts. And certainly the more I agree with Sophie that the side characters are the more interesting part of the movie, and also just the play Romeo and Juliet too. All of the book changes, I think. I like almost all of the book changes. I think it's great. That actors are like actually reflective of the ethnic group they belong to, and that they aren't caked in brown face makeup. I think that's an improvement to say the least. I like the fact that they actually speak Spanish. I like the fact that the Spanish is left unsubtitled. I know that was a sticking point for a couple people, but
I like that too. That was cool. I understood it, but yeah, I love
don't understand it. I really liked it.
Yeah, I'm with Spielberg. If you can't keep up, like myself, I can't speak Spanish that well or at all. Fucking figure it out. And that's one of the reasons why I went back, is because I looked up what some of the dialogue was supposed to be, and there was really revealing parts, really revealing like dialogue that's said in Spanish left untranslated that like really helps you understand like certain scenes, like when Ariana DeBose's character when Anita is like Bernardo makes some comment, and then she says, like, is it because I'm, black? Because she is much more dark skinned in this, version. And, they play with that a little bit.
Yeah, because Afro-Latina culture is just also big. And
yeah, I could honestly talk about this movie for like ever. So I'm going to say that I generally liked all of the book changes and the song placement. So I'm just going to address I Feel Pretty a little bit. Not because I think it needs defending, because I also like the placement of the song in the 1961 version better. I think I understand the function that it plays here. It's supposed to be like this bitter irony. You have this vanity filled sort of happy song that happens immediately after this terrible thing. And it dramatically makes more sense in the original. But I actually do like this version better, just in general as a song. I don't really like the song that much to begin with, at least in the context of West Side Story. It just doesn't really. I've always found that it doesn't really fit. I don't know. I find it hard to believe that. And I think Stephen Sondheim has even talked about this a little bit too. That like I find it very difficult to believe that like a working class Puerto Rican teenager would say something like "I feel pretty and witty and gay." That just doesn't sound like something that somebody would say. And correct me if I'm wrong again, because I can't speak to really the authenticity of the film again. I don't belong to that group of people, but. One thing I really like about this is how the number has been recontextualized, how it takes place in gimbals. You have like this expression of vanity, but it takes place like as they're working in this mall, right? Like there's like an additional level of artifice to it that really underscores like the position that they inhabit, like in the social structure of the time. Like these like immigrant, low paid laborers. I don't know. I think it really works well, and it's my favorite version of the song that I've listened to, for sure.
It's a good song. I don't like the placement, but I like the song.
yeah. I generally agree with you, but yeah, I think it's more tolerable here. Yeah, I think if I had to criticize it some more, I liked sort of the more balletic like fight stuff in the other version. I think that sets it apart from a lot of other musicals. And I was really taken aback when like in the prologue, when like somebody just gets walloped in the face with a paint can. Like it's very like abrupt. And I was expecting sort of like the dancing, throwing, jumping around. So I kind of missed that. I actually like that a lot from the original, but yeah, basically I loved it. It's great. I'm going to see it again and again. Steven Spielberg was a great choice for this, I think. His personal style, I think, fits really well. I will shut up now and pass it on to who's next.
I want to say, like, I do like the placement of "I Feel Pretty." I think just what you said about the irony. I think knowing that she's gonna find out immediately after is just like I like that part. And I wanted to bring up "Cool" as well, which is different in this version, but I liked it a lot more than the original too. So I just think the placement in this movie, I think it worked. So
I have not seen West Side Story, so if it's cool, I will jump into my number 3, Pig.
Pizza time.
Pizza time. Wow. All right.
Let's see. Sophie, what's your number 3?
Oh, sorry. I'd wait.
What about yours?
What?
What's yours?
Mine was West Side Story.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I thought West Side. Oh, wait. Was John's
We
also?
both had it. John and I both had it.
Okay. That's where I was confused.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. My number 3, Shiva Baby. I probably am the only one that has it this high. I'll kick this one really short. Like the movie. Movie is an hour and 12 minutes. It's probably the most stressful and intense yet comedic film I've seen of the past year. Not really going to go into detail about it, but I wasn't expecting much about it, but I sort of related a lot, not too much of in her situation, but to her character. The entire time I felt what she was feeling. It felt very claustrophobic, and Emma Suleiman did very, very good as her directorial debut of this film. It's fantastic. It's anxiety inducing, and it's amazing. And it was my favorite of the year for a while until some other came in. But I wasn't expecting to love it as much. I watched it once. I rewatched it again. I would watch it again in a heartbeat. Great film. I want everyone to watch it. I should have picked it for Movie Club, but instead I went with Raw for some reason. But I totally forgot.
Pick it next time. Pick it next time. Maybe I'll actually watch it.
I didn't think Shiva Baby was on a streaming service, but it was at the time. But if you guys haven't seen it, please watch it. Amazing. Oh, and the score is actually really good too. It's
Yeah,
very
it also adds to the anxiety. So.
yeah, so freaking. Oh gosh, I have to skip it when I have some of the songs on my playlist. I have to press skip because I'm like I can't listen to this while I work. It's too much.
I haven't
Sam, you
seen
haven't
it.
seen it. That's okay.
I will watch it soon though. Maybe I'll watch it after this. I'll watch it tonight.
It's an hour.
Actually,
and
no.
12
I'm
minutes.
gonna go to bed.
No, go
so
to bed. Go to bed. You're super tired. Watch it.
No,
this
wait.
weekend.
No, I will watch it tonight. I have too much to do to go to bed.
I feel that.
Right.
John,
John, do you
have
have
you
anything
seen
to
it?
say about it?
I haven't seen it. It looks great though. So
I think
I'll
you're
give it
gonna
a-
like it a lot. You definitely could kick out of it for sure.
Yeah, obviously I have it ranked number 11. It was super duper close to making the top 10. I everything you said, when you said that twang almost in the score, it's like it's really anxiety inducing. I watched it with some friends, like watching them. Like this was the most invested they ever been in one of the movies that I've shown them, and I've shown them with quite a few movies, so that was impressive.
I'm glad. Yeah.
But yeah, it's the fact that it goes so quick, but it's just it's there's never a dull moment. Even movies that I say are paced quickly, there's some downtime. It's just one after the other.
It just keeps going.
Yeah.
It just
It
keeps
doesn't
going.
stop.
And it's
Just when
Until
you
the end,
can't
but
get
like,
any worse.
yeah, and then
and
it's
even the
it's
end,
really
you're just like, oh shoot.
it's really funny too. It's a hilarious film. There's
It
just
is
it's
very
got a lot going for it, and I would have loved to put it number in the top 10, but you know, there's a lot of films that I liked a bit more. But like I said, I highly recommend it.
Yeah.
I'm glad you loved it, Colin. Thanks.
Yeah. Rachel sent it us also just great in the movie.
Fantastic.
Yeah, she's
One
great.
of the best performances of the year, I would say. Personally.
Yeah, and then just like camera work, editing, sound design, score, just like create this claustrophobic feeling, and just like it's great. And I also really like Polly Draper and Fred Melamed as her parents. I think like they add a ton of comedy as well. Just
Yeah, they're funny.
And it's always great to see Molly Gordon show up as
I loved her in this so much. She was so good. Her chemistry with Rachel was amazing.
Yeah, just also the way it depicts family reunions and how like you'll meet up with someone and they just like ask you a ton of these questions like, oh, how's your life, what are you doing in life right now? It's just like you don't know what
It's so accurate the way they represent that. I'm like, I've been through that, so I feel like here is worse just because they're in like a Shiva, which is like post funeral things, so it's a little darker, but it's like I love the way it portrayed this because it's very, very accurate. And like, oh, I don't feel like talking to you guys, but I have to, and I gotta make shit up, and it's just terrible because it makes me feel bad, and it's just excellent. It's excellent.
Yeah. So, great movie. Highly recommend. My number 6.
I've been trying to get Matthew to watch it for so long. You finally did it.
I watched every person's list except for John's because none of John's were streaming that I hadn't seen.
Oh, it's your number 6. It's his number 11, my number 3. Okay, yeah, yours is pretty high up then. Nice. All right, cool.
Okay,
all right,
so my
Sam?
number 3. This is definitely gonna be an unpopular opinion, but I found I only put one of the movies because I wasn't gonna put all 3 of them, but I found them fun. So the Fear Street trilogy, specifically 1978, is the best one. I am a Friday the 13th shill. What can I say? That one is set at a summer camp, in case anyone did not know that. But yeah, I know these movies are kind of mediocre, but I had a lot of fun with all of them. So what can I say? I thought they were good. I thought the villains were cool, like all the different people who like throughout time were the killers. Like I thought it was cool. And Stranger Things vibes. I love Stranger Things. Yeah.
Oh, it's got Stranger Things. Ooh, I'm sold. Mm-hmm.
It's got Sadie Sink, so
it does have Sadie Sink.
Yeah.
Who's that?
Max from Stranger Things.
Oh yeah, she's in
Redhead.
she's in the Taylor Swift.
The All Too Well.
Yeah.
Yes,
Well.
she is. I mean, I'm not really gonna argue for these ones because I get why people don't really like them that well. Okay, they don't hate but I get why they aren't as loved. So
Wow,
They're
it's
fun
3 full
movies.
movies. Dang.
yeah,
John,
they're really
oh,
good. I liked them. I mean, I also just like horror and slasher movies. So
yeah, slasher movies are fun.
Yeah, I've seen all three. I'm a little bit more mixed on it than you, I think, Sam. But that's only like kind of a personal taste thing in terms of like I'm not a huge fan of like the Stranger Things like drenched in neon look of a lot of things. It's been sort of derisively called like content. It's not really my speed, but I do agree that there are lots of things about all the movies that I enjoyed. 1978 isn't my favorite. I think my favorite is 1994.
that's fair.
If only because I like that cast a little bit more.
Mhm.
It's like their characters.
Yeah, they're just like I don't know. I kind of like the 90s teenage vibe. Not that like it really achieves like a very authentic 90s feel. Like
Yeah.
one of the big complaints I see about like part one specifically is like how anachronistic a lot of like fashion choices and music choices in the soundtrack are. But yeah, I just liked how all of those characters bounced off of each other. They had their own little subplots. How they all get entangled, and of course, there's the gnarly like
The bread.
Spicer kill, which is
The
awesome.
Brett, yeah, that one was great.
Great.
Awesome.
I thought the
Best
soundtracks for these movies were good, but
I think
Yeah.
they had too many songs, in my opinion.
oh, it
But,
had
like,
too
they're
many
good
songs, but like I've seen worse at
Mhm.
Cruella.
Yeah, like Cruella. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to
At Cruella.
pontificate. I like 1994. I'm a little bit more mixed on 1978, although I do enjoy like the Friday the 13th vibe a lot. It just like feels kind of expository, like sort of like a
Yeah.
yeah, the extended flashback thing. I could take it or leave it. But I think it's certainly more fun than 1666. That one was a little bit of a lot to sit through. And the nice thing about it that I can think of is that the cast from 1994, at least the ones that survive, come back, both in this sort of like cosplay,
Yeah.
back in time version, and then also just like the characters come back.
Yeah, it was kind of cool that what they did with 1666, where it was just like actors from the first two. But...
Yeah, and it all wraps up rather nicely too, which I like. But yeah, I think that's a fun choice to put in like so high on your list. I don't think a lot of other people would do that.
I gotta have at least one based opinion in all of my Real Ranked episodes.
Yeah,
I put the link in on mine.
Yeah,
So, yeah, I think it's cool. And I watched all of them like in one sitting or almost in one sitting too, which I think is probably the best way to consume them.
Yeah, so did I. Yeah, I didn't wait a week. I just waited. Yeah.
So yeah, good stuff. Sort of mixed bag, but then really good.
Yeah.
Haven't seen them.
Oh,
I think you like them.
really?
I think it's your.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had them recommended to me, and again, another one of those films I didn't get around to. It's insanely busy last summer and last fall. I would have liked to have gotten to them.
Yeah.
They're good.
Yeah, this is a really fun trilogy. I really liked all the movies. My favorite one is 1994. I think John has already said most of my thoughts I think I just like it more than John. And yeah, like this 1978 I also like as well. I think it's just because I like the characters more in the first one that I just, even though I like the Friday the 13th vibes, I just didn't like it as much. But and then 1666, I just not a huge fan of that time period as much. So, but I liked how everything just like connects together and in the end, and just like the lore, I really found very interesting, and I definitely would love to see more Fear Street movies, just like with other characters that they talk about in the lore, So, yeah, Lee Janiak, great job.
Lee Janiak is like the partner of the person that makes Stranger Things, right?
Mhm.
I think, if I remember
Yeah,
correctly.
yeah.
Apparently, their first movie is also quite good, which I'd like to check out.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, so yeah, this was supposed to be released in theaters, but because of COVID.
How would
The
that
whole
work?
trilogy?
Yeah, I think they would just like release one and then like week by week in theaters.
I don't think it would have worked as well that way as it did on
Interesting
Netflix.
strategy. Yeah.
But from
I
what
don't know
I've
if that
heard,
would have worked. Huh. That would have been cool though, even if it probably would have flopped.
yeah, no, it's definitely like cool to.
Yeah, I probably would have made time to see
I
it.
mean,
if
they would
came
have
out
been
in theaters.
cool to see in theaters, but like,
John
John is
frozen.
frozen, so I don't know.
Tragic. But yeah, Sophie, I think did you have anything to add to the trilogy?
I've never seen them.
Okay.
I didn't even know what they were until you guys brought them up. So, or maybe I did. I feel like I saw people on
They were-
Letterboxd vlogging them.
They were
and
kind
I
of a
was
big
just
thing for a while.
Yeah.
I'm sure
Yeah.
you saw them.
See, the thing is, since they said the years next to them, I thought that's when they were released. So I was like, why are people watching these old movies?
These
So
old
I was
movies.
like,
I had-
oh, I don't care.
the first time I heard about them was actually like, I was in a theater and I saw a trailer before a movie I was watching. I can't remember what one. It might have been the first time I saw F9 because it was just like ads they were going through. Well, okay. When I say first time I saw F9, I don't mean I've seen it twice. I mean I've seen it like one and a quarter times.
That would be a
but-
based pick for the top 10 list.
That
F9.
would
Yeah,
be-
F9
that
is
would be a
actually my
base
number one.
pick.
So
I have not seen it twice. I've seen it like 1.25 times. But yeah, I think it came on. It was either before that. No, I think it was before that one. The theater just like was playing ads, and that was one of them. And that's what made me want to watch it. So I guess thanks F9. Well, thanks to the quarter of F9 that I saw that viewing.
No.
yeah, John, do you have anything? Do you have anything more to say about Fear Street?
No, I think I said my piece.
Okay. So,
Alright.
well, Colin, you already said your pick.
Yeah, I did say pig.
And I
Um,
said pizza time.
pizza time. Okay,
Pizza
Nice.
that's
time.
good.
All right. Well,
Because we're
let's
coming
move
up on. Yeah, we're past 2.5 hours here.
Yeah. So my number 2
Let's
is
get it done in
licorice pizza, which I have talked a lot about on Paul Thomas Anderson, our episode on Paul Thomas Anderson. So I won't say as much as I normally would, but yeah, just love the vibes. Really like their relationship. Just like their chemistry is is great, and just like they have a very charming relationship with each other, and just like how they first meet, and then just like going along the movie, and just like these random characters that show up throughout, and just like Cooper Hoffman, great debut. Love his energy, and just like he's this young entrepreneur, while Alana Haim also gives one of the best performances of the year, and she doesn't really know what to do in life, but she like captures that not knowing what
Is
to do
Sophie
in life.
dying?
Yeah, I think he's like choking on something. You okay?
You okay?
Yes. I was drinking water and like it got caught in the bathroom and I started laughing and it just didn't help. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to cause a distraction. I'm okay. I'm gonna keep just
Oh man.
Yeah. I guess I can keep on talking until Sophie, because Sophie's gonna go next.
Here,
So,
I'll go next. I'll unless Sophie's ready, I can go.
okay.
Okay, yeah. I mean, the movie was good. The relationship very cringy. The entire time I was watching the movie, yeah. But the best part of this movie is Bradley Cooper.
yes, I agree.
He's hilarious. I love him. He's great in this movie. I don't know, the group of us that went to see it, like we quote him now all the time.
Barbara Streisand.
Anytime someone makes like, you know, was like, oh, I'm gonna choke your brother or whatever. Like, yeah, I'm gonna kill your family.
It's a good thing to quote.
Oh yeah. I mean, the movie's good, but it was hard to get past the whole, you know, 15 and 25-year-old relationship thing. But
Fair.
I still really liked it. It's still real. I think it might be like 11 on my list, so I can't really say anything. Yeah.
I guess I can go. I'm not dying anymore.
Uh,
I literally like spit out water too. It was so hard to hold it in. I couldn't do it. Besides that little episode, I really like this. It was super overhyped though. A couple of my friends from Letterboxd. Be quiet, my sister. I'm gonna start whispering now because everyone's asleep. Great. What was I gonna say? Yeah, everyone hyped this up and they were like, "It's a 10 out of 10 movie. It's the best movie of the year." Blah blah blah. I was like, "It better be. I'm gonna be disappointed if it's not." It wasn't. I was like, "Okay."
I think expectations affecting your rating for movies is really dumb.
It was hard when this was being praised like ridiculously. Like I try not to let it happen either. But even it was like a 4.3.
I embrace the over. I'm like, I hate. That's why there's some movies that I hate because they were overhyped. So like,
Spotify listeners, John was just dancing. Just so you know.
He was.
It's Matthew going in on Slinky. Sorry.
My sister just texted me, "Are you dying?"
Yeah.
I'm okay. She's actually. I'm actually not that loud. It's just my coughing. That's all. Anyways, no, I really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun in the theater. It's kind of like one of those movies where like not much happens. It's just like a vibe, you know, and it focuses more on the characters than on the plot. And I liked it. It was really nice. It just transported me to the 70s, which is really cool. Like Sam was saying, the whole age gap thing bothered her. I didn't see it as a problem because to me, they had like a good platonic relationship. Like I didn't see them like romantic at all. Like I don't know. It to me, like, yeah, sure, the end, whatever. To me, it was still like platonic to me. It felt like they were really good friends and their connection strengthened throughout the movie. Cute. I don't think they were ever going to be in a relationship, you know? It's just like, they're going to help each other. Like the movie, there's an analysis I read on Letterboxd where he's licorice, she's pizza. Like they complement each other. She hangs around with him because she wants to feel young again, but then you got him where he wants to feel older, which is why he goes through all these business endeavors and whatnot, and that's why he hangs around her to feel more like an adult or whatever. Thank you so much. Yeah, I know. And yeah, that's my take on the film. Soundtrack is great. Performances are great. Bradley Cooper is probably one of my favorite parts. The whole driving backwards on the Trek scene is one of my favorite scenes.
Yeah, I have that listed as one of my favorites of the year. Yeah.
It's just, I was like, this just feels so out of place, but I really love it, and I couldn't keep my eyes off the screen. Good stuff. I enjoyed it. It's not my favorite of the year. I don't remember what. It's definitely, it's about number 22 out of like 65. So it's on the top part of the list. It's right below Free Guy, which I feel like is a crime, but I really loved Free Guy. John, I know you made that face. I there's something about Free Guy where I looked like shit, but I watched it and I loved it, and I was like, wow. That's all I have to say about Licorice Pizza. Good movie. Probably one of PTA. I think it's my second favorite or third favorite PTA. Yeah, second favorite. I think it's my second favorite. I've got Boogie Nights still on the top. That one I loved.
John?
Yeah, we're hitting long, so I'll try to keep it short because you guys said a lot of my own opinions. Yeah, I'm interested in the fact that like this movie doesn't really have any narrative impulse whatsoever. It's just kind of like you guys said, it's just vibes, and I'm here for it. Yeah, I love like these little hangout movies that are just like kind of a warm memory of like a director sort of growing up, trying to faithfully recreate the world that he grew up in and is like kind of nostalgic for. I think there's a time and a place for that kind of thing, and I think this works really well. A lot of comparisons, obviously, to like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I think that's kind of apt. All of the performances I thought were pretty much uniformly great, especially Alana Haim. Yeah, she's really incredible in this. I like the Sean Penn little cameo too.
Yeah, Sean Penn's great.
I thought that was fun. And like Sam said, the Bradley Cooper, instantly quotable, instantly memeable. Yeah, really, really
the
funny.
entire movie where she plays John Peters.
Yeah, we love a little hustler, a dude that just like he the little Sigma boy that just likes to grind and sell water beds for whatever reason. Yeah, real strong observations on my end here. As for the central discourse of the film, I don't like, one of the things that I kind of admire about the film is that it's like it portrays like this movie's all about recreating a memory, and Paul Thomas Anderson doesn't really shy away with also including sort of the less savory parts of that memory too. I'm thinking specifically of the Japanese restaurant joke. Like, that just kind of came out of nowhere and was like, I will admit to like laughing at it because I was just kind of like so shocked that it happened. And I feel like I can also get away with it. I'm not Japanese, but I feel like I have more of a right to laugh at it than like most of the other people who also laugh at it in the theater.
If you like, it depends on like what you're laughing at. Are you laughing at the character, or are you laughing with the character? I guess.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. With regards to obviously the target there is supposed to be John Michael Higgins, like his character. As for the age gap discourse, like it's just so bad on both sides because. I'm not going to like the movie doesn't really it's not really critical of their relationship, but it's also not uncritical of it. So just like screaming at people that like, oh, you need to be more media literate when like Zoomers bring up how problematic it is on TikTok is like not good. It's not a smart way to handle it. It's like the relationship that's being portrayed is really complex, and elements of it are really unsavory, and I haven't really even unpacked all of it yet. There's a really, really, really wonderful, really elegant way that it was said in a Letterboxd review that I think I'll just read. I think I'll just read it.
It's like the most liked review of that movie. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's by a user named Lauren Wilford, who describes it as such. It's a warm tribute to a kind of relationship I feel like lots of us have stuffed way in the back of a mental drawer. The ill-advised crush turned briefly, oddly, achingly mutual, transmutated not into a romantic relationship, but into an ambiguous, charged entanglement. I think that's a really, really beautiful way to put exactly to put what's at the center, the central relationship of the film. It's complex, it's difficult, it's not unproblematic, but there's a lot more to it, I think, than just straight up saying, oh, it's pedophilic or whatever.
Right? Yeah, it's very complex. I think
I'm trying to weigh my words here carefully because I don't want to.
You gotta be careful.
I don't want to get canceled, but yeah, I want to go as far. I think I disagree with Sophie to say that I don't think it's a completely platonic relationship, but it's certainly not the full-flung, fiery, passionate romance that people seem to imply it is at all. Anyway, that's the end of my spiel. I said I wouldn't talk a lot about it, but I've gone on for like 5 minutes. Sorry. Really warm and pleasant film, and surprisingly un-PTA-like too. Like I thought it was.
But also.
Sorry. Anyway, I really liked it a lot. So
it's good that you mentioned that review because I was going to mention that review as well. And pretty much read the line that I was also going to read.
Sorry.
So I mean, that saves us time. That's perfectly fine. It's a vibe movie.
Before just gonna some people are joining us in the live chat right now. Cameron pausing Scream 4 for this.
Pausing Chunky Express for this. Go
we
for
got-
it.
Oh, fucking heat, dude. Nice, Sean.
Oh yeah, that's good. That's a good one. Shoot.
Sorry, did you lose your train of
I lost everything. 5 movies, love it. You guys already talked about it. I mean, I just, I think it's like you said, John. I don't want to call it platonic, and it's definitely not entirely platonic. I'd like for that to be the case, but it's obviously, like you said, more complex than that. But it's difficult, and sometimes movies tackle difficult subject matters, and when it's packaged in this kind of vibey movie, it's hard. And I had to defend this movie a little bit. But it's I need to rewatch it again. I think that's where I'll stand on it. I still like it a lot, but it's lower on the top 10 list, and I need to rewatch it again and try and unpack everything.
Mhm. Yeah. Definitely, like, it toes the line between like platonic and romantic. It's just like somewhere there, and like it doesn't go all the way on either direction. So
Yeah.
All right.
okay.
Sorry, what? Have I missed something?
I think we're.
On to number 2, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's your number 2.
My number 2.
Sophie, what's your number 2?
My number 2? My number 2 is Spider-Man No Way Home. Listen, I know we're running long. I'm going to keep... Everyone's already talked about this movie. It's at my number 2. I loved it. Great Marvel film. It's probably one of the best theater experiences I had since Endgame. And I saw this twice, and it was like just as good the second time around, even knowing what was going to happen. Just being in a theater with a bunch of geeks and cheering and crying, and it's super emotional. It completes Tom Holland Spider-Man's arc so well. It's bittersweet. It's the music by Michael Giacchino is awesome. The villains are great. Story's awesome. I had a blast. That's it. I'm done.
Yeah, we're allowed to spoil, right?
Yeah, I mean, they literally already
Okay.
posted the interview clip. So
Oh, okay.
That's
Well,
true.
yeah. Okay. Well, I don't know. Whatever.
This
Y'all
movie
already
was
know
great.
how I feel about this.
Yeah. It was great to see Toby and Andrew come back. I had only just watched the Amazing Spider-Man movies because I was like, oh, they're probably going to be in this one. I better watch it before it happens. Yeah, it was nice to see all the villains come back too. And sitting next to Sarah during this movie definitely added to the enjoyment. Like, I should get excited about everything, and then it will just like make me more excited. And like when the portal opens and you can tell that it's not Tom Holland, and then everyone just like started getting so hyped because they know they're about to see like a different Spider-Man. Yeah, it was a great theater experience and good movie.
yeah, besides the annoying fan.
Oh, besides the annoying fan.
Yeah, I can go real quick. Yeah, I saw this much later in its run. So my theater, although it was packed, did not pass the vibe check. So I didn't get to have like that fun sort of like cheering experience. Yeah, I liked it more than you. All of you, I think, know sort of my position on Marvel films and the MCU. But I found this one pretty enjoyable. I'm not so much of a Grinch where I can't enjoy a little bit of nostalgia. I mean, these Spider-Man movies were also a part of my childhood, the Sam Raimi ones. So it was really great to see that back. Amazing Spider-Man, not so much, but again, it's Andrew Garfield, so I'm not going to say no to that. Yeah, it's really fun. It really gets to the heart of what Spider-Man's about. It's just kind of like a kid that's fucked up and needs to fix it. Yeah, sure. It has all the things that I like and dislike about like my favorite Marvel movies. So yeah, pretty solid. I think I gave it 3 stars, 3.5, something like that. Yeah, I liked it.
Really good Spider-Man movie, really good MCU movie, pretty good movie. I will say, I think we got passed over for Pig. I don't think we ever talked about it. So you can finish your Spider-Man thoughts, but Pig is too good to pass up. I don't think John ever talked about Pig.
We're gonna
right?
get to
Well,
Pig
no,
eventually.
Okay.
Pizza
Pizza
time,
time, right?
Pig.
Wait.
There we go.
Oh, pizza.
It got pizza
Pig's your
time.
number
We're
2.
We're getting
Okay,
there.
right.
Pig is coming.
Okay.
Pig is
All right.
Pig is
Well,
gonna
I don't have
be
anything
here
else to add. I don't have anything else to add about Spider-Man No Way Home. It's a solid movie. I was annoyed by that fan the first time. Yeah.
Yeah, same. But I watched it again in IMAX, and yeah, just even better. And it's never gonna beat the first theater experience though, where everyone's clapping and everything. But yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, Willem Dafoe is amazing, and that's all I'll say. Oh, we got some comments. Albert says, pausing hosting sessions for nothing. I assume they're done. But all right, we'll move on to Sam.
Okay, my number 2. Only 2 of us have seen it, so let's go. This is going to be a quick one. But my number 2 is Ride the Eagle. It's a good movie. It's Jake Johnson. He's great. I have only seen like a couple episodes of New Girl, so I don't have as much of like a connection to him as some other people might. But I was going through Hulu once, and I saw this movie, and I was like, "Oh, Jake Johnson." I'm going to read the description, and I was like, "Okay, sounds interesting. I'll add it to my watch list. Maybe someday I'll get to it." Didn't even really realize it was a 2021 movie. But then I was scrolling through Hulu again, and it came up again, and I was like, "Yeah, no, today's a good day. I'm going to watch it." And I liked it a lot more than I expected to. It also has J.K. Simmons, so I mean, can't go wrong with J.K. Simmons and Jake Johnson. And a dog. The dog is Jake Johnson's actual dog played the dog in this movie. So
I'll add it to my watch list. I've never even heard of this movie.
Yeah, I had not really heard about it at all until I passed it on Hulu. And I was like, "Oh, this is definitely an Andrew movie," but I'm gonna watch it.
It is for sure. It's an Andrew movie, yeah.
Yeah. It's great. Definitely recommend.
Did we talk about Pig already?
Not yet.
No, we
Oh,
haven't
okay.
Pig.
I'm just
Okay.
okay. I'm glad I'm not. Yeah. Okay. I see. I'm just surprised Sam has it ranked so high, but that's good because I love it too.
I love Pig. Okay. But Ride the
So-
Eagle, also good.
Ride the Eagle.
Good
Yeah.
movie.
I'm adding it to my list.
I definitely recommend.
I'm not the only one.
Okay. Yeah,
Who's
I
next?
didn't.
Or
I watched
you
this.
watched Ride the Eagle. Okay.
I'm just like, yeah, I watched this because Sam had it on her list, and yeah, it's a very heartfelt movie. I think just like a man who has a strained relationship with his mom, and then just like figuring out who he is, and going to a cabin, and yeah, some good stuff. I think there's some really fun side characters. So Sam already brought up J.K. Simmons, but if any of you guys have seen The Good Place, Darcy Carden is in this too.
Mhm.
And yeah, she has great chemistry with Jake Johnson. I think just like talking over the phone. So good movie. You should watch it. Jake Johnson is also one of the writers too.
That's the watch list.
Yeah, it's a charming film.
Shall I go next?
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
whoever's next.
Okay, my number 2 film is the Julia Ducournau film Titan. I think who else had this on there?
I
Colin,
think
right?
Matthew.
Matthew and
I
Colin.
had it on number 10.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah. So, wait, is that higher on your list, Matthew, or?
It's also 10 for me. Yeah.
Oh, okay, 10 for you as well. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's fair. I just like it could go either. Like it could be higher, but
Titan is it's a lot. I love the beginning and the end, and oh gosh, I don't even know where to start with this one, man. Like I think a lot of people hyped up just how nuts it was, and it delivered. I loved Raw. I saw Raw for the first time for Movie Club when Sophie introduced it. And I think this movie is really just an improvement upon that. Like Raw was really fleshy and gnarly, and this really goes much harder. The beginning is this just frenzied, loud, stripper dance sequence part, serial murder sequence, and it's crazy and has an awesome energy to it that Ducournau has in Raw as well. And then the movie just part way through just transforms into this totally different thing that's tender and wrestles with things like gender dysmorphia and family and just people's bodies evolving, whether that be, you know, turning into a car person or just getting old. Yeah, I have so much to say, but we're running long, and I want to hear what you guys have to say about it. I feel like I've been stealing your thunder a little bit too on a lot of things, virtue going last. So, one thing I will say is that, okay, it's really gnarly. Matt Lynch on Letterboxd said it best. Like, Cronenberg was thrown around a lot, but this truly is the new Flesh. Like, yes, absolutely. And one thing that I think goes really underappreciated is that the movie is just like very funny. Like, okay, a woman has sex with a car. Like, if you can't find humor in that image, I don't really know what to tell you. Like, it's calling all you, man.
No. I will add that it's fine that you're stealing at least some thunder, because I think you're a lot more well-spoken than I am, especially. So I can't speak for everybody else, but I think you've had a lot of insightful comments today. So we appreciate your presence here. But
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, but just like, yeah, the first 20 minutes, like half an hour are crazy. And then, like you said, we just get into this drama that's touching all this stuff. It's like, how did we get here? But it feels natural. I watch it again. I'm like, oh yeah, of course. Duh. Right. It's only natural that we would go from fucking a car to this father-son dynamic. And it feels like it should be all over the place, but it just works. I will say, for me, it faltered a little bit in the middle, but I mean, it picks up towards the end, and it really, I really like the final scene. I mean, as ridiculous as it is, it's a really powerful scene. It's like one of my favorites of the year for sure.
Yeah, I feel like I don't have as much to say than John, because I just like, I don't think I understood everything. It's all very metaphorical and just like ambiguous, and like all the deeper meanings. I'm just like, I'm not smart enough for that. But I've only seen it once, and but it's just such a visceral reaction to it, and I think Julia Ducournau is just someone to watch out for. So, Sophie.
Yeah, this was I think number 14 on my list, so definitely made my top 15. Definitely one of the craziest theater experiences I've had in terms of like, what the fuck is this? And I know the Oscar expert said it best, where this is the most fucked up, wholesome movie I've ever seen in my life. Because it was just like, whoa, but also like, oh, I don't know. The score was really good by Jen Williams. I don't know who she is, or him. I don't know if they are. They did Raw. They also did
Raw has a great score too.
Yeah, this one has a really good one too. And I remember it was me and one other guy in the theater, and we're watching it, and the entire time I'm behind him, he was like moving. It was so funny. He was just like going like this and going like this and going like this the entire time. And I was just so entertained by that, because I was doing the same too. There's a scene where she goes into the bathroom and does something. I don't even want to go into detail, but I was like watching through my fingers because I couldn't even. It was crazy.
Oh, that scene's amazing. I really like that scene.
Oh my god, I don't think I can watch that scene again. It was just so comfortable for me. Just thinking about it. No, absolutely not. But we both walked out of the theater, and he looked at me, like he looked at me in the back, and I went, I don't know, that was just crazy. And he's like, yeah, I agree. So we started like trying to like decipher it together. It was good. I love those movies where you're like, whoa, I need to let this sit with me, and I let it sit with me. But it's awesome film. The director's I don't know how to pronounce her name, so I'm not gonna even attempt to, because you all know what happens when I try to pronounce people's names. So great movie. I'm done.
Haven't seen it.
I think
Good.
I like it.
I'd recommend it.
Any interest?
Andrew, if you're watching this is totally up your alley, and you should totally see it. He's a big cussy guy. I think he'd probably be into it. That's fine.
Yeah,
For sure.
I can't believe I just said that out loud.
Again.
Kelly Sue.
Let's move on.
Is my number 2 now?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think so.
The
Yeah.
Green Knight. The Green Knight is my number 2
Yes,
pick of the year.
Spiderman. Dying
Yes.
to talk about this one. Go for it,
Yeah.
Colin.
It's just a sprawling epic. I was engrossed every time. I saw it 3 times in theaters for some reason. Just because I wanted to see it with other people. Yeah, the score. I mean, so if you're going to talk about the score, I'm sure, but the score is one of
Go
my
for it.
really close to beating Dune. It's so close. I think Dune. I've just listened to Dune more. I think it has a slight edge for me, but it's still a fantastic score. Fantastic visuals. Guy when he's tripping on the shrooms. I just love that entire scene. It's really visually stunning. The entire movie is visually stunning. It's all super well shot. It's not any new information. But man, I don't know. It's same vein the Ghost Story where I have trouble explaining why I like it so much, but I just really bonded with one of my friends over our appreciation for this movie, and I showed it to a bunch of our other friends. They all like not super surprising because the same thing happened with a Ghost Story, but like I don't know. I just really vibe with David Lowery's whole deal, and this is just I wouldn't say a step up from a Ghost Story, but a very close second in how I feel about it.
Okay. This movie, I went into it very, very tired. So and I only
You
saw it once.
probably fell asleep.
I didn't. I was close to falling asleep, but I feel like I need to watch it again to really, and also just to like get some of the deeper meanings as well. And just like, but I did really enjoy it, and just it's a visual feast. Like, oh my god, the cinematography is stunning. Dev Patel does a great. I mean, all the performances are great.
Yeah.
Sophia, I'll let you talk.
Oh my god, I love this movie. I knew it was directed by David Lowery, and he did Ghost Story, which not really one of my favorites. I do want to give it another chance. So I'm like, this is probably gonna be okay. I watched it and I'm like, shit, this is actually so good. And it has one of my favorite scenes of all of last year, which is kind of like the epilogue. No, I don't know if it's the epilogue. It's like kind of like the ending. It's like a 10-minute sequence.
Yeah,
It's like
It
a
is-
visual. Yeah, I get you. Sorry.
It is unbelievable. It makes the movie for me. It's the music. It's what happens in the story. It's the visuals. It's oh my god. Everything just works so well together. I mean the last scene and also the whole movie itself. Yeah, it's really slow. I felt the slowness the first time I watched it, but once I knew what I was going into and I guess versed myself more with the Arthurian legend it was based off. I went to see it again in theaters, and I had an even better time the second time around because I noticed new things and caught other things that I was amazing. This is not a movie I expected to love as much as I do. I listened to the score all the time last year. It's so good. I'm with Colin though. He just barely under Dune. And honestly, if Dune didn't come out, yeah, my top 3 is Spencer, Green Knight, and Dune. Those are like freaking amazing. But yeah, I pretty much what Colin said. I really liked Alicia Vikander's performance in this movie. She was really excellent. No, it's just a wonderful movie. Weirdly, a little bit like trippy. There's like a scene with giants that I was just in awe just watching it. It was wow. But yeah, good stuff. Colin pretty much said everything that I agree with. Visually stunning, wonderful music, really cool plot. I really wish he got more recognition in the Oscars, but it's not going to. So
Yeah.
Tragedy Macbeth is going to do that, which is not as good. That's okay. Sam?
Yeah, the movie was good. I liked it. I liked the fox, even though the fox did not look real. But I'm tired.
Would have been
so I'm
better
just
if it
gonna
was an
leave it at
orange
the fox
cat.
was cool. Would have been better if the fox was an orange cat, but the fox was also great. I'm tired, so I'm just gonna leave it at that because we'll get done faster.
Yeah.
I love how like we are totally spent by the time we're supposed to like talk about the movies that we're most excited about. We're just like, oh yeah, the Fox is
No, I'm ready. I'm ready.
I'm ready to talk about my number one more.
Yeah,
So.
I'm ready.
So my I didn't get to see this in theaters, and I really wish I had because I think Matthew put it pretty beautifully when he said it's like a visual feast. Yeah, there's a lot to look at. I I can't. It's gonna sound pretentious. I think I spent a lot of time. I spent too much time like trying to put together, like how this movie relates to the actual like Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, like the medieval poem. I read it in university, like in college, and I did a lot of like work with it. I guess just writing about it for class and stuff on a couple of occasions, and like yeah, it's just like totally different. And I think I just should have just accepted that it's not an adaptation of any kind besides like a basic sort of plot outline. And I spent too much time fixating on that, trying to figure out like what it all means. And I pretty much left with like not a whole lot. I'm not a medievalist at all, so yeah, with the exception of that scene that Sophie was talking about at the end, sort of the flash forward, like Dev Patel, like yeah, his life sort of like before his eyes, flashing before his eyes, when he's like at the head of the axe. Like I that keep me into sort of what this movie is about, but sort of the journey there, I'm a little bit at a loss. I'll be honest. I feel like I had a much better handle on Ghost Story and sort of what that was trying to say. So I'm excited to go back and watch it again. Also, just because it's like a fun little adventure movie. It has a little bit. It's a little bit of A24-itis, which is something that I recently have discovered. I'm becoming a little bit tired of, maybe, but yeah, I'm excited to go back. I'm with you there, Colin. I like David Lowery. I love A Ghost Story, and I haven't seen any of his other movies, but I'm down for whatever. So that's all I got on The Green Knight. Dev Patel is really good in it. So it's also a little gay, but
A little.
Yeah, it's not really a little gay.
Okay.
All right.
Well, let's move on to my number one. I think some of you guys might know it starts with a C. You know, features D and O. Clifford the Big Red Dog. Yeah, I think just my number one is actually Coda. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my. I think we can't really pizza time that. That's my number 4. So you go.
But yeah, no, I fell in love with this movie. It's just so incredibly charming. It's just like feel good movie of the year, and I cried so much, and I was smiling throughout. Amelia Jones is just the entire cast is fantastic, but just like Amelia Jones for surrounding herself with a ton of deaf actors, which is makes it all more authentic. I just really love that, and Troy Kotsur should be winning Best Supporting Actor. Marlee Matlin's fantastic. And just like seeing her journey, her coming of age, like I just wanted to bring up the comments when I love Clifford the Big Red Dog, where Jacob said, "Let's go, Matthew, great number 1," and Sean saying, "Why did someone put Clifford?" But yeah, back to Coda. Like they just have a great family dynamic, and it's also just so funny. Like, why are you guys, on Tinder at the dinner table? It's just like
that's a good scene. It's a really good scene.
And yeah, there's just also just Ruby's relationships to like each of her family members, and like there's just like one big scene with all of them, and like just found that very, very heart-wrenching. And the main character, she wants to join choir, but the rest of her family can't hear. So it's just like that internal struggle of like, wanting to go off to college, where instead of taking care of her deaf family, it's just like really, really tugs at your heartstrings. I'm gonna leave it at that. And I could go on even more, but Sophie.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I agree with everything you said. I remember watching this and absolutely being destroyed. I cried so much. I would say this one and In the Heights made me cry the most last year, like actually sob. Spiderman, no. What did I say? Almost
No time to
Spiderman.
die. Spider-Man, No Time to Die.
Spider-Man No Way Home, it made me cry too, but it didn't even come close to Coda. I think Coda was the one that just, it hit me in the feels, and it was just so beautiful and heartwarming, and it's such a great film, and it's funny too, and it's kind of relatable. I mean, not extremely relatable in her situation, but some of the things she wants to do in terms of her life and going to college, and it resonated with me, and it's just the performances were fantastic. Marley Matlin, Troy
Kotzer.
him, Amelia Jones, all, and the brother, all fantastic. And the kid from Sing Street was actually pretty good too.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say. It's beautiful. I honestly, when I was watching, I was like, damn, this is so good. I didn't expect it to be this good. And the singing is great. The songs are awesome.
Emilia Jones has a great voice as well.
Beautiful voice. And I'm a sucker for music movies. And it's ironic that this is just so lovely of a music movie, and the parents get the scene where she's singing to her dad while touching. Oh my God, I can't even describe what that made me feel. It was beautiful, and the score is very charming and
score is great, yeah,
and it in tune with the themes of the film. Yeah, lovely movie. I want to watch it again. I've only seen it once, and I've been wanting to watch it again with my sister. So. I'm all done.
All right.
I haven't seen it.
It's really good, Sam. You should watch it.
Yeah, I like it. I think I like it slightly less than the rest of the panel, but yeah, I think it's very touching. I don't want to say that I dislike anything, because I don't. I it's very pleasant. I don't know if it's obviously this kind of story has been told a lot before, and the sort of having deaf actors adds a certain level, another element to it, like another layer that's really. What I'm trying to say is that I found it really, really pleasant, and if it isn't like a particularly novel concept for like a film, for a story, that hardly matters, just because everything else is so charming. Amelia Jones. You guys have talked at length about the deaf actors in this, who are all very good, at least from what I can judge. I can't really judge acting through sight, but Amelia Jones is also really great. I think we need to really give her credit for what she was able to accomplish, because not only is she just an excellent actor, just able-bodied actor, but she also had to sign through this, and she also had to sing at a level where we could convincingly believe that
she's also British.
Yeah, and also British, right? So you have a sort of an accent work there, and you also have she's signing, she's doing an accent, and she's singing at a level where we could convincingly think that she could get into Juilliard, So yeah, she deserves as much credit as she can get there. There's a particular moment of the film that I like a lot, that I wish maybe did more of, where it's during their duets. Where you sort of take the subjective view of the deaf family, and all of the music just cuts out, and you just kind of watch them observe, the world around them, everybody else enjoying their daughter's music, daughter/sister's music, even crying. I think there were some shots of the audience tearing up, if I remember correctly. And it's just kind of them just sort of trying to take it in, struggling to take it all in. I think that subjective experience is really useful, and I wish they did that more. But on the other hand, I'm also just glad that they just treated them like regular people. Yeah, they have this handicap, right? They're deaf, but for the most part, that hardly. I mean, it's a very important part of the film, obviously, and the deaf representation is done really, really well. But they also just treat them like regular people, And I think that's really nice and refreshing to see, even if there are certain story beats that rely pretty heavily on the fact that they're deaf. So, yeah, I liked it. It's good. And Amelia Jones is an amazing singing voice.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Sorry, guys.
I was going to watch it, and then I didn't. So.
That's fine.
I had an assignment that I didn't realize I'd do. Sounds very good, though. I will check it out as soon as I can.
Okay. Well. And let's go to Sophie.
My number one, I don't think this is anyone's number one. My number one is Dune.
Yeah, my number one's Dune. Let's go.
Oh, okay, we got this, Colin. Okay. Wow, I'm surprised it wasn't even on like a 3 or 4 from everyone else.
It was all or nothing apparently.
It's all or nothing. So Dune is interesting. I went back and forth switching this to Spider-Man No Way Home, but the more I thought about it, the more I thought, man, no, Dune is just way more of a more complete. I say more complete film, but it's just part one of a 2-part film saga. But it's just more well-rounded and a tighter script and better performances and I don't know, it's just a better movie overall. But Dune, my God, it's phenomenal. I like this. It's like one of a non-MCU movie that I was just completely in awe of in theater. My jaw was on the ground. Not literally on the ground, but it was open most of the time. The shots were incredible. The cinematography is just to die for. Denis really knows what he's doing with these slow sci-fi epics. It's no exception for Dune. It's amazing. I love the story. I wasn't familiar at all with the original book, so I went in pretty blind. First watch was really good. Little things were confusing because there weren't any subtitles, and I was trying to understand what they were saying for some scenes. But I watched it the second time around, both in IMAX. I have not yet watched it in anything other than IMAX, so I'm like kind of scared it might not be as good on like my TV, because my God, in IMAX is just fantastic. Like, that experience, it's just huge. I mean, I don't know what else there is to say besides it's an amazing sci-fi epic. Hans Zimmer's score is phenomenal. It's my favorite of the year. I listened to a song called Paul's Dream in the car, and when I blast it, I just get chills everywhere. You're driving, it's just like, oh, it's got the theme and the rolling crescendos of the drums. It like mirrors like the wave of the sands and the desert. It's so good. It's so good. Everything about this movie is fantastic. It's my favorite of the year. I love it so much. I'm gonna stop talking now. Sam?
I have read the book, and I feel like this movie was pretty good. Like, I think it like did justice to the book. I mean, the Lynch's Dune was like, it was fun. It was fun, but it was not like a good like adaptation of the Dune book. It had its own good parts, but I just talking about like book adaptations, the new Dune is definitely a lot better, especially because it's 2 parts, and that book is big. Sandworms, cool.
Oh, I forgot to mention. Yeah, I forgot to mention that one of my favorite scenes, including the sandworm, one of my favorite scenes of the. It's probably one of my favorite scenes 2021. I mean, I've said that a bunch of times, but this Matthew told us to like come up with favorite scenes, so yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and spill it out. Putting his hand in the box, that entire scene was just fantastic, so tense, and so and it just it gives you the idea of this is what the movie's gonna be like, and you're like, I'm in for the ride. And then also them seeing the sandworm for the first time when they're trying to like rescue that one that one little harvesting ship or whatever. Yeah, that entire scene is just fantastic. It gives you like the sense of fear for the sandworm and like how crazy big it is, like the scale and the music that goes along with it. It's just awesome. So cool. The world building is incredible. Okay, I'm stopping now. I could honestly ramble about this forever. I want to stop though.
The score is good. The cast is great. I feel like most of the characters were casted really well.
Okay, John, what are your thoughts on Dune?
I'm really confused. I thought did I miss like the pig conversation? I feel like
no.
We haven't talked about pig yet.
Okay.
My number one. I think
this is Sam. Number one.
Yeah, I confused myself. Okay.
No, everybody's confused about pig. It's fine.
I should have put. I should have put. If I left Dune off of my list. And like when I submitted my list to Matthew, my reasoning was like, oh, it's not a complete film. It's only part 1, part 2. I don't know why I thought that. If I put Dune on my list, I'd probably be like number 4 or 5 because I really liked it a lot. And you guys have said a lot of the reasons why I like it a lot. Denis Villeneuve has a little bit of a reputation for being like an austere filmmaker. He has like a Kubrickian style that has a little bit of like a distancing effect, not like in a Brechtian way, but like it's a little bit cold, it can be. And Dune is very like weird, right? David Lynch delivers on the weirdness, and perhaps over delivers, one might say. But I think I was a little bit apprehensive about how Villeneuve was going to put it on screen. And he basically realized Dune exactly the way that I had envisioned it. I read it a long time ago, so my memory of it is a little bit dusty. But it's a very like it's a book that I feel like is kind of difficult to visualize. I don't know if that makes sense, but he does it remarkably well, and he goes through like this really dense lore in a way that doesn't water it down and presents it to the audience in a very easily digestible way. I think the casting is almost pitch perfect. Really, I have no complaints. I was worried about Timothée Chalamet as Paul, and I think he's a perfect fit. Sorry, I really liked him as Paul, but it's just like a wonderful movie. It flies by, and I can't wait for part 2 so that I can evaluate it as a whole. I will leave it at that.
Before we move on to Colin, Albert in the comments saying, is it a coincidence or is it planned that episode 21 is best of 2021? And I just realized that. I did not notice.
So funny.
That's pretty cool.
That is really cool. Nice little detail pointed out there by Albert. Nice.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
Get the fucking rebound. Sorry. Purdue's playing right now.
You're good. Yeah, no, I would be watching that game too right now if we're not here. I'm also scared to not watch this in IMAX. And I'm praying that they do a re-release, and I'm sure they will. It's amazing. I read the book. I had lofty expectations. I had one friend who had also really liked the book. He also had super lofty expectations. We went in there and we walked out knowing it was probably the best movie we were going to see that year. It probably could crack the top 50 of the decade for me. That's just how much I like it. We've already talked about the score to death, but like I'll turn it on. I feel like a total badass driving to Walmart. It's an incredible score. It's just a realized world. The ornithopters, for example, like the production design on the ornithopters, whoever designed those, kudos, because like it's more or less exactly what I imagined. Just the sets are all incredible. The sense of scale that he conveys, especially with the sandworms and that sand crawler scene. That's one of my favorite scenes of the year, easily. It's just a really awe-inspiring movie. It's just kind of the kind of scale that we don't often see outside of MCU, or really. It is a blockbuster film, or at least, it's kind of how it was marketed, or at least how it seemed to me. But it feels not like a blockbuster film, but it captures that sense of scale that I feel like has been really lacking outside of a lot of comic book movies. And so for that, tied in with one of the few books that I can say I actually really, really enjoy as not a big reader. It was just really exciting. And the fact that it lived up to almost unachievable expectations was made it a clear first choice for me.
I agree with Colin. Right. We got the same opinions on this, buddy. I'm glad I'm not alone.
Yeah, I was shocked when it wasn't. Yeah, I was actually kind of worried when it wasn't. Yeah,
I was waiting to pick time.
Where's Dune? Surely somebody would have Dune at like at least 10. I don't know, but yeah.
I was surprised it didn't show up until now, but
yeah.
Well, we'll take John's invisible placement of Dune for 4 and 5.
Okay, my number one, guys.
I talked
in-
about this during the Villeneuve, so
Oh yeah, I did.
that's
too.
all I was
forgot
gonna
about
say.
that.
I
Was
just
like,
want to be
yeah,
done.
yeah.
We're
We
almost
finally get
there.
to talk about it. Okay. Finally, it's pig time. Pig time. This movie, great. I loved it. I mean, I didn't think that a Nick Cage movie would make me emotional, but like this one did. I almost cried. It's a good movie. I
Almost.
feel like I could say
cried.
so much about it, but I'm so tired. So ask me about Pig when I'm not tired and 3.5 hours deep into a Real Ranked episode.
Good podcast. All right. I talked about Pig on the Nicolas Cage episode. That was my number one Nicolas Cage film on that list. On another show that also
My number one as well. So
so I won't say anything about it. I will leave the floor open, except to say that I genuinely believe that Nick Cage is one of the greatest screen actors of our time, and what he does in Pig is really remarkable. And what Michael Sarnowski achieves for the first time in Pig is also remarkable. Just an addendum to all of my comments about it in the last one, which were brief, is that I also think Alex Wolff is really underappreciated in this. He has a really difficult, maybe not difficult, but he has like a very nuanced role that you wouldn't expect him to pull off, I think, and he does really magnificently. So yeah, great. It's all around great. It was my number one movie of the year for a very long time, and it slid down to 7 after
Damn.
a couple of right. So
yeah.
It's a very cathartic movie. You know, Nicolas Cage's performance, like you guys have said, I think is easily one of his best. Yeah, Alex Wolff also has a pretty good performance here. I was kind of surprised. You know, it's hard to go toe to toe with Nick Cage, and I think he did pretty well, all things considered. I don't know. I think that catharsis comes from. I was really hungry when I watched it, and they just kept bringing up this food. And when the food is finally revealed, it's like actually food, unlike the other earlier scene in the restaurant. And it just feels like it's not a grand reveal, but it almost feels grand in the way it's presented. And then the father has that ratatouille moment and when he eats the food, and it's just like I said, just a really cathartic moment. And it's I don't know. I was hungry.
The ratatouille moment. That's such a good way of putting it.
Yeah, am I wrong? I mean, that's
perfect. I didn't even think about it. That was good.
But yeah, it's a I mean, despite all the shit that happens in it, it's a really sweet film. And I had a lot of fun watching it.
Yeah, no, I wasn't sure what to do when it came out. Like, I was just, I'm gonna watch a movie, and then I was like, oh, what is this? Nicolas Cage is in it. Let's go to theaters. And I watched it with my mom, and it was just like I knew nothing about it, and just came out just like very like Nicolas Cage is phenomenal, and just like very emotional movie. His exploration of grief, but also just like very meditative and just like held back. And I talked more about it in Nicolas Cage Ranked. So great score too.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say no one brought up the score. I listened to the score quite a bit. It's actually very very good. I like the movie. I liked it a lot. It's actually one that's moved down on my list, mainly because I watched it once and I kind of thought about it for a month and then I forgot about it because I watched other things and it kind of just fell through. I was like, oh, this is great, but that's about it. I do want to rewatch it, see if it holds up. Because right now I just remember it's Nick Cage and he lost his pig, but it's a lot of what you guys said. I agree. It's a nice picture of grief and it's like an anti-thriller almost, like a which is weird because I don't even know what that means, but that's what it felt like. Really great movie. It's probably my favorite Nicolas Cage performance after National Treasure 2: Book of Secrets. Just kidding. I mean, come on. When he puts his hand in that thing and then just fakes everyone out on getting hurt, that was funny. Yeah, he's definitely on my list, hopefully, to get nominated for an Oscar. He deserves it at least. You know, he's incredible in this. It made me tear up in the theater. I got a little teary-eyed. I was like, yeah, shit, what's going on? This is a movie about a pig. And then I went to the Bahamas last year, and I went to a little island with a bunch of pigs, and I put on my story, Nick Cage, I found your pig, and no one got it because no one had seen the movie yet.
That's tragic.
I probably just didn't use Instagram, so
Fine. It was just really funny because I was like, what is this? And I'm like, just check out the movie called Pig with Nicolas Cage. That was fun. No, great movie. That's all I have to say. Good picks.
okay.
I think we're missing one, are we?
So
John,
you're number one. Yeah, last one.
My favorite movie of the year was Ryusuke Hamaguchi's film Drive My Car. I know that none of you have seen it, so I won't belabor the point, and I am exhausted. And in my current state, there is no way that I could convey or articulate what this film is and what it means to me this year. Just go watch it. It's in theaters now. It has an intimidating runtime. It's 3 hours long, but I would say that it goes by pretty quickly if you're tuned into what's going on. And Ryusuke Hamaguchi, I think I've seen one of his other movies, Asako 1 and 2. I don't know if that title means anything to you. Sean, I know that you've seen it if you're still watching this, but that was a movie that I didn't really get on its wavelength entirely. And now I think I totally get what Hamaguchi is going for his films now. Like, I don't want to spoil anything because I think you just need to go in blind. But the duration, Hamaguchi is able to so eloquently like get to these like emotional truths of these characters. I will say that like the movie is about like overcoming grief and trauma, and Hamaguchi realizes these like emotional truths about the characters, and the only way that he can do that is through duration. I feel, and the movie relies very heavily on a play called Uncle Vanya by Anton Chekhov. That's kind of like the skeleton key to it all. It's they refer the characters in the movie, like their arcs sort of and relationships sort of reflect and also invert relationships in that play. The play shows a lot of sort of thematic similarities and also crucial differences in parts. I actually read it since I saw the movie like a couple of days ago, just because I wanted to know what was going on. And yeah, I think it's really a masterpiece. Not like, I know this is a little bit presumptuous of me to say, having only seen it like a week ago, but I really do think it's going to be one of my favorite films, like just ever. And I think it's the total package, like formally, in terms of writing, in terms of its storytelling, in terms of its framing, in terms of its textual and metatextual references. It's everything. And I'll just leave it at that and just tell people to go watch it. Yeah, I'm tired. Let's move on.
It's a really good encapsulation for being
Yeah.
tired. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely want to see
I
it
gotta
for
go
sure.
watch it. Yeah. Yeah. I want to see it as well.
Okay. Well then, what are some of your favorite movie scenes from 2021?
Oh wait, I have a couple. In Venom, Let There Be Carnage. I shit you not. Shush, let me just stop. The scene where Venom is making breakfast for a depressed Eddie while singing tomato, potato. I have not laughed so hard. That scene made my entire month. It was so funny. I was like, this is the kind of shit I live for. Shang-Chi, the bus fight scene is incredible.
Mhm.
Encanto, Surface Pressure, we don't talk about Bruno. And the rest I think I already talked about. That's it. I just had
The
to quickly
Kingsman
get those in.
Rasputin dance fight.
Good one. Well, John, what are some of your favorite scenes?
Okay. My favorite scenes are all from movies that I've been sort of instructed not to talk about for the sake of spoilers. So
Okay.
I think I will say that one of my favorite scenes was just the entirety of Godzilla versus Kong, which is a movie that
So
came out last
true.
year.
Yeah.
I gotta
shit.
give that movie an honorable mention because I've seen it 3 times.
Yeah, I love it when Big Lizard and Big Monkey go.
Yes.
It's a good
I
time.
miss the big debates that we used to have before that movie came out about Team
Andrew,
Godzilla versus Team
if you still
Kong.
think Kong is better than Godzilla, you're a punk ass bitch. Yeah.
Team Godzilla all the way.
Okay, and also another serious answer. There's a really great movie that hasn't been brought up yet that came out called The Harder They Fall, which is like a black version. It's Western by debut filmmaker James Samuel. This is another movie that probably could have gone on my 10 slot. And there is a gunfight at the end of it that is amazing. It's such a good sort of climax to the movie what the movie has built up. It's on Netflix streaming. That movie's really excellent and probably underseen. So I hope people go check that out if they haven't already.
Colin?
I'll keep it brief. Spider-Man No Way Home backcracking scene. Licorice Pizza backwards driving down the hill. Dunes. I already mentioned Sandcrawler scene, and then the Green Knight. Garwin's tripping scene. Yeah, and the reveal of the painting in this.
Oh, I didn't mention this in this one in this for the sake of spoilers, but since everyone's already seen Spider-Man, all of them coming together and fighting the villains, that's a kind of obvious one. I really love that scene. Also, the portal scene where they come in and everyone losing their shit. That was awesome too. So.
Yeah, for sure.
The Spencer Pearls eating scene.
The pearls, yes, I forgot the pearl eating. Yeah.
I was gonna bring up the pool table scene as well, from Spencer.
Just so many great scenes in that movie.
Yeah.
The entire movie is a great scene.
Some movies that haven't been brought up yet: the Suicide Squad opening scene, and also the Harley Quinn fight escape scene.
That was a good scene. That was. I love that starfish scene in the end. It was the ratsism. That's so good. The rats and it was so crazy. I forgot about that. Yeah, that's really good.
The restaurant scene from Pig when Nicolas Cage is
absolutely. Yep, that scene's really incredible.
The scene where he in Pig where he like makes the dish and then he eats it and like the memory. Yeah, that scene is good.
Yeah. Also in Shiva Baby, when she goes to the bathroom to look for her phone and comes out, and immediately after that, it's just like so chaotic. And if you remember,
like that whole movie's my favorite scene.
But like it's just like with the lighting, it's like the editing.
It's excellent. It's excellent.
The in Licorice Pizza, the say yes to everything scene, that was great. That's another one that I really.
There's a scene in that movie where I think they're talking like a casting director, and it just it's a huge close up on the face, and it's like really uncomfortable. That was funny. That was a good
She's
scene.
just like, yes, I'll start nude. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the scene you're talking about. Yeah. Say yes to everything. Yeah.
And then my favorite scene is in Coda, Both Sides Now, audition scene for
Beautiful.
All right.
Any
other mentions that you haven't brought up yet?
Yeah. There's an honorable mention I have that no one has brought up yet. I don't think a lot of people have seen it yet.
I'm gonna bring up Mass.
Mass. That's a big honorable mention. I loved the movie, but I don't think I'll ever watch it again because of how tormenting it was. But still super beautiful. Crazy good performances all around. It's my number 13 of the year. Could have easily made my top 10, but the thing is, it's not very rewatchable. I wouldn't go out of my way to watch it again because I've seen it. That's it. I'm good.
My honorable mention that I wasn't allowed to put on the list, but it did come out in 2021 is Inside. I mean, someone's got to mention it.
For sure.
I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, definitely. Inside.
But everyone keeps putting it on their list of best films, and I'm like,
I mean, it's not a movie, but
it's a film, but it's not a movie, you know.
It's not a movie. It's an experience.
Yes. It is an experience. I like that.
I mean, if we're just dropping like honorable mentions, another movie that I like that didn't make my list, but I'd like to just say that I liked a lot. Was the Clint Eastwood movie Cry Macho. I just think that it's kind of a boring movie. Nothing really happens in it. It's just an old dude traveling with like a Hispanic teenager. But I think every movie is automatically made more interesting with like a 90 one million-year-old fucking
Clint Eastwood.
but like he's kind of like Ben Platt and fucking you know what I'm trying to say, right?
That's a dishonorable mention.
They're just like they've transcended like bad casting, and it's just like you exist as like a movie object now. Like you're just a movie object, to kind of gawk at. But in Cry Macho, I think it's actually used to great effect. And then also the Tragedy of Macbeth. I thought the movie was pretty cool.
Haven't seen that yet.
It's neat. That's all I got.
My honorable mention will go to Beatles Get Back documentary. I didn't want to sit through the full thing, but I liked the first part. And, I don't know. I never thought I'd be that interested in the Beatles. So kudos to Peter Jackson.
All right. I think that's it.
And then my honorable mentions, I have Belle, which I don't think, it's a great movie. And The Last Duel. So
nice.
Yeah.
Surprised that didn't come up today a little bit. Oh, well.
That's my number 20. It's pretty good.
That was my number 20. The last,
Really? Look at us. Oh, I also wanted to mention Raya and the Last Dragon. A lot of people didn't like it, but I loved it. It's probably my favorite animated movie of the year. I have my reasons, but
I can't say it's my least favorite because I've seen The Boss Baby too, and I've seen Spirit Untamed.
Yeah, I love this one. I love the music. James Newton Howard really knocked out of the park with Raya. It's a beautiful score. I love the plot. I love the characters. It's just great. Loved Raya so much. I watched it twice. I watched it in theaters too. It's awesome. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying.
I have to go. I have an exam.
Yeah, I am so.
I say we just.
It was a good discussion, though. It was a good discussion. I think we actually.
I think we did
pretty
really
good. We did pretty good, all things considered.
Yeah.
So to wrap things up, we got the Orange Cat Counter at 3. We got Coen Brothers coming up later. There's no date, nothing next week. So that's all. And we will see you guys later.
Thanks for
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye. Sorry. I am so sorry. Oh God.